Yo. What's good, y'all? Let me change this layout real quick. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
That's zoomed in.
Word. That shit was mad close before. I don't even know how I did that, man. Yo, what's good with everybody in the chat, man? How y'all doing, man? On y'all way in, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Definitely helps us out. Yo, what's good, man? How was your day?
It's good, man. I'm busy. My son won a championship, you heard. So
Oh, you
gotta
won that
give him a
chip?
shot. Yeah,
You got
man.
that chip?
Soccer
Oh man,
champion.
yo, shout out to him, man. Like, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, I told you he already got more chips than Melo, like,
Shaking my head. Man. Everybody in the chat, once y'all join, let us know where y'all from, man.
Well, yeah, we see everybody in the chat. We're gonna give people a couple of more minutes to join up in. Yo, Lady Nova was good. She said what to do, my fan. Where Ace gonna join, he gonna join a little bit later, but he gonna pull up, run a little late doing some business shenanigans, you know what I mean? So we see everybody in the chat. Everybody, yo, let us know in the chat where y'all from. So we can see what it's looking like. Yo, today we got a good show. I ain't gonna lie to you. Some of these questions, man, I'm very interested to, have this conversation and see, how we can come up to some solutions and, see what the issues are in the dating community, man. Because a lot of people say it's piss in the water and all this craziness. So, you know what I mean? So, got to come to some type of solution. I ain't gonna hold you, So, yeah, I see everybody. Jersey in the building. I see Jersey. Oh, as a matter of fact, Jersey, that's your hometown team right now, Jew. What's up?
Come on. Yeah, man, shout out to Jersey, but I got love for y'all too out here.
We got Charlotte in the building. Yo, I ain't gonna hold you. Everybody seeming to move into North Carolina, man. What's the word over there?
What's that? East New York?
I don't know. Charlotte via East New York. Like, all right. I mean, we got Queens in the building. I see Queens. You know what I mean? Shout out to Queens, man. Like, Queens get the money. You already know how that go. All right, so we're gonna get into it, man. We got some special guests. We promoted it, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm pretty sure y'all familiar with them. I'm gonna bring them on and let them introduce themselves. But these are women that I value in our community because they are very unbiased and they do something that don't get done a lot in our community, and that's hold men and women accountable. You know what I mean? So we gotta have this conversation with them. So I'm gonna bring them up on screen and let them introduce themselves.
Hey.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, y'all look amazing, by the way. I just want to let y'all know that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So if y'all could just introduce yourselves real quick and where people can find y'all in case the people don't know who y'all are, that'll help out.
Yeah, well, I'm Diamond. You guys can follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Both of those usernames are Diamond Fierce One. So yeah.
My name is Riva from Riva TV. Of course, you can find me at Riva TV here on YouTube. Also, you can find me on Instagram at RIVAH_JORDON. And yeah, I am grateful to be here, grateful to be alongside this beautiful woman. I guess it's on this side of my hand. And be a part of this panel. It's not to take up too much, but just I see you guys, obviously, I've done so many reactions to you guys' videos, and I just feel like I'm my brothers. So like I'm really enjoying how this dialogue is gonna go. I'm excited for it.
Yo, man, appreciate y'all for joining the live. So we're gonna get straight into this, man. Like, what do y'all think is the biggest issue with modern relationships?
Diamond, you can go first if you'd like.
Okay. In my opinion, I think one of the biggest issues is that no one's really even looking for relationships now. No one is looking to build a genuine connection with another person. It's more so, what can I get out of this person? Instead of getting to know each other and seeing if you guys can have a relationship. It's just, what can I get from you? How can I take advantage of you? And then that's just it.
That's it. Just squeeze you dry, and then once you dry, then it's like, all right, let me get somebody else.
Pretty much, yeah.
Got you.
I kind of agree with what she said, and to actually piggyback off of that, a lot of people don't take the time. I would say, okay, I'm going to say people but I can't help but be myself and be authentic and have the real conversation. I feel like a lot of women have a problem with understanding their counterparts. I can't say that it's men. I think that there are some men, obviously, that are out there that are just going based off of the narrative of whatever, like, oh, all these girls are hard or all these girls are masculine, and they don't really take the time to know the person that they're with. But men are into development. Like, they're hearing these channels, they're having these conversations, they're trying to figure out how they can be better. But a lot of women are just constantly in competition with their men instead of observing their men and seeing, what can I get from this relationship in a positive light, but also how can I serve you as well? A lot of women are not into that. Like, they ban the whole, Destiny's Child, let me cater to you. Like, they're completely not into that. So I think that's one of the big problems, as along
you said a triggering word right now that a lot of women gonna be in the comments. Like, you said the word serve.
Serve.
You know what I mean? Serve, that women do not like that word.
We take that as slavery right there.
So when you say serve, what exactly do you mean by that?
Well, yeah, I know how they like to tussle, I know how they be going off on me. Oh, she done picked me. They love to go off on me, but it's true, because that's where the beauty in relationships resides. It's actually a service. Like, a lot of people, just like how she said, a lot of people go into relationships selfish, not being selfless. Being selfless, putting that other person above yourself, being able to serve is the ultimate word. Like, okay, what do you need today? You came in from work. I'm pretty sure I can speak for a lot of people. When they come in from work and they had a hard day, they don't need, they're not looking at you and saying, oh yeah, I need you to yell at me. I need you to tell me what I'm not good at. I need you to beat me down, and the world has already done that. No. What can I do to make your day better? What can I do to assist you? What can I do to help you? That's what we're supposed to be here for. Yeah. But I think that the reason why a lot of women, have a problem with this is because they haven't experienced a real man to realize that when you serve your man, it's the ultimate blessing to your own self, because there's no man on earth that you're going to sit there and support and serve and respect and, be kind to, be his peace, that you're not going to get anything in return. I think a lot of women try to take these guys that are not with that, don't really want to wife them, don't really want to be in a relationship with them to begin with, and then they're doing all this service. Oh yeah, let me serve you, let me do this, let me, and he's like, you're just a kill for the night. Like, I'm not really looking at you like that. And then they take that narrative and put it to all men, which is not true.
Since you're so like straight up and honest, I always, because I kind of ask this question, but I never get a straightforward answer. So with that being said, why do women put so much some women put so much energy into the dude that's not even interested in them, rather than the guy that they know that might be the right one for them?
You want the real answer? I could give you the raw answer.
Do you think nice guys finish last?
Honestly, I can't say that they do. I can't say that they necessarily finish last. But I want to that question. It's what resides between his waist and his knees.
Okay.
That's where a lot of people, that's where a lot of women get it twisted, because they associate that rugged, tough guy. And Diamond can correct me if I'm wrong. Women associate like him being kind of like and rough and tough. And they immediately sexualize that thought. Right. Yeah. So then they're like, oh yeah, he's, he a boss, he a this and he a that. And it clouds their judgment. Or it's that, he quote unquote fine. Right. Or he's quote unquote fine to them. And so they get hypnotized by the idea. Whereas here's this guy who may not be quote unquote fine, but when you talk to him, his mind is right. He's obviously going to be a great leader. He's obviously going to be a great husband to you. And you'll be surprised. Sometimes those girls be looking at that guy like he whack, but sometimes you'll be real surprised. But they want to go for the guy that all the girls want.
True. Yeah.
Right.
That's the problem. That's a big problem. And Diamond, I know you were gonna say something.
Yeah, I think a lot of women, and they're really afraid to admit this, but I think a lot of women, they like to take that guy who has had multiple women, maybe he doesn't know how to treat women right. They want to be able to take him and kind of fix him and mold him into what they want.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of them also, they want to be able to say, yes, I changed this man. He wasn't good to you, but now he's good to me.
Mhm.
They want to be able to say that.
Yeah.
It's
No,
true, but
that's
it don't work.
100.
It hasn't been working out well.
It never worked.
You know what's funny? Y'all always say men think with their dicks, but it sounds like women thinking with their clits out here. I ain't gonna hold you. It sounds like it's
Yeah.
weird
They
out
do, but they
They
will never
absolutely
admit
do.
it.
Yeah, they absolutely do. But Diamond, you just like hit the nail right on the head because it's so true. Like, oh yeah, oh he wasn't like that to you. Oh, he's like that with me. Oh, he didn't do
Right.
that for you. Oh, he do that for me. And
Mhm.
it's like that man is capable of doing whatever he wants with whomever he wants. It's not because you're so. It's not because you're, the kitty that you swear you got the best in the whole entire world, and you think that that's gonna make him. It's not that. It's always the unsuspected woman that he changes for, not because of those things. It's
Yeah.
more because of her character, the personality, the type of person that she is. Again, the peace that she provides. But that's so true.
Yeah.
So true.
You also said something that was very important that stuck out to me. You said that a lot of women are in competition with their men. That's a very observant point, because that's what I'm starting to see as well. Is women will constantly, they want, women have become the men that they want to date. You get what I'm saying? And they don't know what it is that men. We always ask women this all the time. What do you think men want? And they can never really answer their question, but they go for what they think men want. Oh, I got to make money. They want a woman that's educated, that got degrees, this, that, and the third. And we just be like, men don't necessarily value that. We value other things. And, there's very much a competition aspect that's kind of, it doesn't mix well in the dating market. You know what I mean? You can't have two alphas in a relationship. That's not going to work. You know what I mean? So that point did stick out to me. So you did say another point as well about, oh man, I can't remember it. I gotta write it down, but I'm gonna try to think of it and then get back into it. Let me get to this next topic. Why does it seem like men aren't allowed to have standards?
Oh wow.
Because we have heard women say over course and time again, a man got to be 6 feet. He got to make 100K. Got to have a 6-pack. Got to have his own business. Got to have his, no kids. Got to have this, that, and the third. But the minute a guy says something as simple as, "Well, I don't want to date a woman with kids," now it looks at as, well, he hates his mom. He hates women. He hates this, that, and the third. So why is it? Or even when a guy says, "You know what? I don't want a woman that weighs over a certain amount." Now it becomes, again, he hates his mother. He's part of the LGBT community, you know what I mean? Like, he hates women. So why do you think that's an issue when men have standards?
My theory, and there's going to be a lot of women who don't like that I'm about to say this, but I think that if men started to set standards and actually live by those standards, because you do have men who are like, well, I want this type of woman, but yet they'll still kind of make exceptions. But if they were to set standards and actually stick to them, there would be a lot of women who could not meet up to those standards. So I feel like it's almost a manipulation. Like, okay, well, let me make you feel like it's wrong for you to have standards, because I know if you start to set these standards, there's going to be a ton of women who are not going to be able to live up to it.
Right. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. What's your thoughts on this, River?
I agree with that as well. I feel like I'm going to be saying that the whole night. Like, I agree, obviously. But it also kind of stems to the beginning, right? Like, who were we raised by? And this whole rhetoric of like happy wife, happy life. And it's so funny. I was actually on Diamond Fierce's page on her TikTok today. And I saw she did a video. Then I was like, "Oh, okay, girl, yeah, we here."
Yo,
But
I'm gonna let y'all know, if y'all not in tune, yo, Diamond, she lit on TikTok, man. Y'all gotta get in tune with her, man. She lit over there, like,
she really is. And it's so funny, not to go off track, but I feel like I saw her from even before today. I can't remember if I reacted to a video or not, but I was like, I definitely saw her on TikTok, and I was like, hey, she's definitely over here spreading the message that needs to be spread. Anyway, sorry. the problem is that we have to go back to the base. Happy wife, happy life. It's how we were raised, right? The men that were dating women and also the women. So some women are raised in a household where they have mommy and daddy, but daddy is like, oh yeah, you need to just do whatever your wife says to the boyfriend. Like everything in the aiding and the assisting of like, oh yeah, the woman is the most important, the woman is the best, the woman is, the one that you have to satisfy. Look at weddings, look at Valentine's Day, look at the entire relationship, right? Like everyone has to kind of go off of if the wife or the woman is happy or not. So it's kind of like a lot of women have this mindset, why do I need to care about your standards? You should be lucky to even be with me because nobody cares about you. Like you're the last person that people care about as the man. So for you to say you can't be with me or whatever, then I'm doing you a favor.
Right.
Mainly because a lot of women have access to sex and a lot of men do not. So they're like, well, that's why women have this whole mindset. Like people are like, oh, why do women say like, they have the kitty and they think that that's why they're the prize? Because they understand that men have to be allowed to. But women are the ones who have more of like, it's rare that a woman is going to talk to a whole bunch of men and get turned down. It's really rare. Somebody will be like, I'll hit, whatever. You got a baby? Hey, you got a baby? All right. You got 4 kids? All right, cool. But hey, it's some, kitty I never had before. So I'm willing to try it out. So that's why women walk around with that because they feel like it is such a prize. But they're wrong because men, fortunately, are going to start changing that narrative and start saying like, okay, nah, like I'm going to set standards for myself. So now, just like Diamond said, a lot of these women who are walking around and acting like they're this and they're that, they have a rude awakening. That's why they're revolting so much on social media and stuff like that. Like, oh, leave us alone because we big, or leave us alone because we got kids. Stop talking. Oh, y'all hate black women. Like that's what they love to say because now their back is against the wall. Oh, now you still have to change. Oh, now you still have to be a better person.
Right.
Yeah, you said something about women that think they have like I think women get confused because they think their options as far as a woman could go to her DMs right now and have like 20 guys in a DM, but they're confusing men that want to have sex with them only with options as far as dating, like, you know what I mean? So a woman will think because there's a lot of guys that want to have sex with me or sleep with me that I have a ton of options, and those men just want you, they just see you as a one-time thing. They just want to hit it and quit it. That doesn't necessarily mean you have options. So when we talk about things of that nature, like and that goes back into I think the whole the modern dating scene is people think that they have options that they don't have. You know what I mean? With the advancement of social media now, women and men are so much accessible. Like, you know what I mean? So it's easy to be like, okay, well, if you're not doing something, if you're not making me happy in the moment, I can find somebody that will. You know what I mean? So that very much carries over into the relationship. You know what I mean? So women and men, their tempers are so short now. Like, you get on my nerves today, like I'm gonna find this woman won't get on my nerves, so I'm gonna deal with her. Or women do the same thing, vice versa. So there's so much competition nowadays that it is making relationships a lot more, and nobody want to work towards building a healthy relationship. They expect you to already come in healthy, like, you know what I mean? And that's not how relationships work realistically.
That's the key. That is one of the biggest problems because a lot of people see people and they feel like, oh, this woman is supposed to be the entire product. She's supposed to automatically be perfect for me. And that's not possible. Like no matter what happens in a relationship, as you can be as cooperative, as long as you're cooperative as a woman, and as long as you have the baseline of being respectful, if you're moldable, that guy is going to mold you into the woman that he requires for himself, what he desires. Some men want you to, hey, I need you to be able to cook and clean. Some guys are like, I'll cook, I'll clean, just be nice. Just help me out when it comes to this. So you have to be able to be moldable as a woman, but as a man, you still have to understand. I love that you just said that there's still going to be some kind of work required. She can be amazing. She can be nice. She can be, fine with bow legs. Okay. Just sitting right. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, maybe she had some trauma or she didn't understand, how to communicate because that's not what she's seen. As long as she's not coming in calling you the B word, okay, and trying to curse you out and belittle you. But if there's some problems with her tone, people have to be able to put in the work. A lot of people are just like, oh, see, modern woman, you know, and
Right,
it's like,
right,
no,
right.
like mold her.
I
Yeah.
honestly believe that women prefer to date down or up, not in the middle. Because if you're dating somebody that's on your level, you both of you will be able to hold each other accountable. And I think women reject any accountability when it comes with any option they have. So they like to date down because they can control that man and teach that man and tell that man what he should be doing or not doing. And they like to date up because then they feel like he has a reason for them to do so. So a man on their level, they're like, I don't gotta listen to you. Me and you on the same level. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's hard for women to date men that's on their level. Or they're afraid of it. I don't know what it is.
No, that's very true. That's very true. And
It
that's why
is.
sometimes I think that women, it depends on I would say weak women.
Yeah.
That point is completely correct to weaker women who are kind of insecure. They kind of feel like, you again, in competition, want to be the boss, want to have the last word. It's easy for them to, date somebody who's the same age. You could see a woman that is like 27, maybe her boyfriend is 26. Everybody's gonna know that he's a year younger than her. Like, she is going to make that, oh yeah, you a year younger than me, oh stop trying to act like boy, like trying to boy him up.
Right.
And it's
That's
like,
true.
because she does want to feel superior, because something in her doesn't feel that way. But I think that a lot of women who are mature end up dating or getting on the same page with somebody who is older than them, because what they're trying to align themselves with, like, they need to be led at a greater level, because sometimes guys at the same age as females are not at the same maturity level. Sometimes the guy is more mature and she's at the same age and she's really mature, and sometimes the woman is really mature and the guy is a little bit more immature. That's why most guys don't settle down until they're a little bit older, because they still slinging it. They're like, I just got started. Like, I just started having fun. Where you might have a girl who's like 20 years old who wants to be a wife. So why would you be with this guy who hasn't experienced enough life? Maybe you need to look a little bit older than yourself so that you can have that sense of security with a guy who's already done that, been there, done that. Because I think guys should do that. That's what I think. But that's a different conversation.
They should do what? They should thought it out. Get they thought out?
I wouldn't say thought, because some guys be out here thoughting and be very careless, and then they end up in some baby daddy and all kinds of a lot of situations. But I think that it's important for men to experience various women, whether it's intimately or not, but just different personalities, different type of women, because then you get to analyze the woman's nature itself. Not just one woman that you've been with and another woman, but like, you get to see the nature of women as a whole. You have this girl, that girl, tall girl, short girl, this girl, that girl. And you realize, oh, all of these things are similar with all of these women. That's what I think.
And then that kind of stops you from getting curious about those women later on. Whenever you've settled down, you won't be thinking, okay, I've never experienced this, I've never experienced that. And then now you have a different type of problem on your hands, because now you've settled down, but now you're curious about what that type of lifestyle could be like.
You don't think that's common with women, because you guys are more mature and look for serious relationship at a young age, and then y'all want when y'all get like, well, fuck it, I want to try what's out there in the world. Then you're like, oh, this person. Then y'all get more open to the opportunity.
I think it's both.
I think that women do it that way. They try to settle down too early, and then get older, and then like, well, I never did this, I never experienced this type of man. That's how you have the 40-year-old woman in the club partying with a 20-year-old, because she didn't do that when she was 20.
Right.
Yeah, that is true. A lot of women do. Especially the women with kids. I don't know what it is with women and kids, but they still would very much want to live their best life. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's why you see these, like you said, the older women in the club trying to compete with the younger women. You know what I mean? And that's a whole different subject on its own. But there's a quote out. You mentioned happy wife, happy life, right? So there's another quote that I want to mention in that frame about, it's, we often hear it's cheaper to keep it, right? So both of those quotes, I feel like, have been a detriment to men in society, because one prioritizes a woman's happiness over your own happiness as a man, and the other one is telling men that, you know, even if you're in a bad marriage, that, you know, you will end up losing more if you leave her than to just tolerate the bad
But
marriage.
that one is true, bro.
It is true, but no, it's true, but it's hurting men at the same time, because
True.
now it feels like we have to tolerate this because we don't want to lose what we work so hard to build. What are your thoughts on those quotes?
I think there are a lot of men who live by that, but I don't think it's smart to live by that, because the only thing that you're protecting is materialistic things whenever you live by the it's cheaper to keep her. You're not protecting your peace, you're not protecting your happiness, because those things cannot be bought. You can replace, you know, money and assets that you might lose by leaving your wife that you're not happy with, but you can't buy peace. And I feel like that's more important
girl.
than
Tell the truth.
I think that's more important than worrying about the things that you might lose, the materialistic things that you might lose when leaving such a bad situation.
Yeah, that's very true. But again, you can have all the peace in the world, but if you lose half of your empire, it's very hard to have that peace once you know that, you know, you have to give up half of your empire.
And
now
she just chilling.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So you can have all the peace in the world, but, you know, if you lose what you work so hard to develop, to build as a man, you know, that is a bit demoralizing, you know? So that is kind of, you lose your kids, you know, you lose the house, the dog, the car, like, you know what I mean? And obviously we talking about extreme cases. Most average people are not going to lose that much in a marriage, but, you know, guys have been working very hard to, you know, develop themselves and make something of themselves. Now becomes a fear. Like, you know, I don't know. That's why you hear men, I don't know if marriage is for me because I don't want to lose what I work so hard to get. And I don't know if I'm going to be happy. She could wake up one day and decide to divorce me or whatever the case is. So, you know, we always say on this channel, like, you know, happy house, happy spouse, man, because that requires both people to, you know, do the work. Let me get into these super chats real quick. We got Dozy Doozy E. Men are into development, very poignant. I mean, they should be in the development. Men, that's something we're gonna get into that too. You know, let's see who else we got. I know I seen Mike in here. Yo, Michael, man, Michael was goody. Shout out to the Dailyrapupcrew, man. Was goody, Michael. Appreciate that. Yo, shout out to Michael, man. He really be, you know, blessing us, man. So my next topic, says, how has the likes, we obviously know about the Cardi B's, the Meg Thee Stallions, the City Girls. How have they influenced modern women today? What do y'all think? I'm gonna go River. What you think about that?
How have they influenced them negatively? And you know what okay, let's be clear. I'm not talking about the art and I'm not talking about the artist, but I am talking about the effects of what the art and the artist is doing to art. Not only just grown women, okay, but children as well. They're lying. Like they're literally lying to women. How you don't need this, you don't need the man, you don't cook, you don't clean. That's why when Offset took a video of Cardi B, oh, I thought you said you don't cook and you don't clean it. He posted it on Instagram and you see her with her hair in a doobie and she's sweeping the floor. Like you're lying to women. So everything that you're portraying, you're putting it out there. And then at the same time, the same music that you play, the same music that you sing about, and all these parents are raving about, like, oh my God, like my kids, I'm trying to protect my kids. When your music comes on, you go to culture and you put your hands on her ears. Like, so there's something in you that is saying that you're not necessarily proud of certain things. So if you, to me, as an honorable woman, if you cannot look at everything that you're doing and blatantly, you know, show it across the board to whomever, whenever, I'm not saying that there's not adult content, but if you're literally portraying a message that you live nothing by, you're a liar. And you're teaching these women false truths. And a lot of these women are going to go by what they see. You know, the city girls, hot girl summer, the this and the that. And it's like, but at the end of the day, when you're washed up in your mouth, oh, like, who's going to be there for you? Who's going to take care of you? What's your legacy going to be? You're not going to have one because you over here trying to chase, you know, the next drive the boat or whatever. Like you're just trying to live this free and fun life, and you look at stability as boring when it's actually not. You're just you just need to grow up. Like, it's different for men. It's very different for women. As women, we're the ones who are raising the children, right? We're the ones who are covering our children.
Right.
That's why we see, not to go too far off, but y'all out here marching in the streets over Roe v. Wade. But what happened to when all these schools are, not safe for our children? Why was nobody in the streets then? Because y'all mothers only care about who? Yourself. You're not looking at society and about our children. We didn't grow up like that. Okay, we didn't really grow up like that. Yeah, we did have like the, you ain't nothing but a hoochie mama. We had like, but for it to be so mainstream, like number one, like, oh yeah, Cardi B is amazing. It's like, why? Because she's portraying everything that we've seen, especially living in New York, like people that we see on a daily basis.
Right.
What should be modeled after that?
The women that was like singing those hoochie mamas and doing the Tootsie Roll and all that.
Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, like Cardi B is like the goalpost. You know what I'm saying? Like people want to be Oprah and you know what I mean, other important
Claire Huxtable.
Huxtable, exactly. Now you just want to be Cardi B. Like you want to be known for robbing niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Set niggas up, looking for niggas that's only scammers. Like women are like, they acting like niggas with jobs are like roach repellent. Like, I don't know. They're terrified with men with jobs. Men with responsibilities. They scared of us.
He can't buy you a Birkin bag. He ain't this. You can't get flued out. He's a scammer. It's not his money. Like, of course you can get flued out. Of course you could get a bag. Like, of course you can. Like, this guy that works at the bank, he's not saving enough money to be able to do that. But guess what? He's thinking about his future. He's thinking about, his retirement plan, what he's going to do, when he's going to build a house. Like, he's not just popping bottles in the club trying to look cool to people who don't know you and don't care. Like, what you're saying is so true. But like, even, oh gosh, I always, when I talk, I forget that Kevin Samuels is no longer with us, and I can't. But shout out to the late great Kevin Samuels. But even he used to say it, like he said it, like Baps was just a comedic movie, right? But now it's like when you look on mainstream, everybody is like that. Like, this, like, and especially in this time, you don't even know who or what you're looking at when you look at somebody on Instagram. So it's just this entire society has like drastically changed.
So what do you think about the people? Like, I see people in the comments saying, "Oh, Little Kim, she spoke about the same stuff." Like, what do y'all think about, I guess, the old school generation of female rappers compared to the newer generation of rappers? Like, what do y'all think about that?
Little Kim absolutely did, right? Foxy Brown. We can go down the entire list of all. Trina. Okay, Trina is like, whoa. When you listen to her songs, you're like, I can't believe they released that record. Like, I can't believe you were allowed to say that. But look at the difference in our societies. Cardi B is like I always say this, when in that era where you had the Little Kim, the Foxies, the Trinas and stuff like that. First of all, let's not lie to ourselves. The radio edits are completely different than what they used to be back in the day.
Right.
When we was in the car listening to Missy Elliott sing that song, we don't know what she's saying because it bleeped it out so much that we have no idea. We were just singing it because we like the beat. Now there's no bleeping.
There's no bleep. Like, the
bleep is like, you know exactly what the word is. There's
the
only
bleep
one
is not
word
a bleep no more.
Right.
Yeah. So that is completely different. But also in today's society, there's no kids music. I don't know if people realize that. There is no like Britney Spears, NSYNC, stuff like that. It's all one music. That's why they have the Kids Bop singers singing Cardi B songs on Kids Bop. So you want to tell me that the society is the same? Look at Kids Bop from the 90s. Was there any Little Kim remixes on Kids Bop? Absolutely not.
They definitely wasn't. That's a great point. Yeah, and it wasn't as, like you said, it wasn't as mainstream. Like, Cardi B is literally on the billboards. Like, these women are on. They're getting played Z100s. They're getting played on mainstream radio. Little Kim's Foxy, they wasn't top 10. You know what I mean? On the billboards like that. You know what I mean? So it's different. And you said the radio edits is different. What they could portray in music videos and played on mainstream was different. You had to watch BT Uncut to watch a lot of these.
Uncut.
Listen, you know what I mean?
Now everything is uncut.
Everything's uncut.
Man, like, you know what I mean?
It's so true.
We got a cash app here from let me get into this unsolicited security boss. Support to the crew on Robert TVL. Yo, shout out the unsolicited security boss, man. She always shows us love, and her content is dope, man. Y'all gotta go check out her content. You know, we got a cash app here from Monstar. I'm sorry. He says, can y'all talk about men being quote unquote intimidated by women, strong, successful women? What do y'all think about when y'all hear women say that?
I don't think it's so much that they're intimidated by it. I think men just don't care. Like, you'll never hear a man ask a woman, well, how much do you make a year? They don't care. So whenever you have women who kind of lead with, you know, being strong and independent, I make this much money, I have this many degrees, men don't care about that stuff. So it's not even that they're intimidated by it. It's just that's not the values that they're looking for in a woman, because you can sit up here and talk about all the degrees you have, how much money you make, but on the other hand, you don't know how to cook, you don't clean, you don't do any of that stuff. And those are some of the values that he's going to want. He doesn't care that you have 2 degrees and you make $100K a year. That's not what he's worried about.
I agree. And I also think that there's not enough men out there that feel like they need to be in competition with their spouse to even talk about. Because you have some men that know that the girl make money and they like, hey, you know, hey, I'll sure take care of me. I'm not complaining. I'm no problem. You know, as long as I can keep doing what I'm doing, I'm cool with that. So I don't think that it's necessarily, like I said, enough people to even talk about. I think a lot of women created that narrative because they get successful. Okay, they making money, they making more money than he does, and then they start acting a certain way towards their man, and then he starts acting different, and they're like, oh, you mad because I'm making money? No, I'm mad because your attitude is nasty. No, I'm mad because you're disrespectful. No, I'm mad because now you don't respect me, because now you have a certain amount of money. You think that your boss is the only person that could tell you what to do, and I can't tell you nothing. That's the real issue. So I think that's definitely created by women.
You need a book. You need to write this on a book. You need to take his minds on here. I ain't gonna.
So, yo, Ju, what you think about that, real quick? You know, we hear that all the time on the show. Y'all can't handle a strong, independent woman, and y'all intimidated by women. Like,
I ain't gonna front. These ladies done laid it out so perfectly. Like, because the first thing, you know, and I don't think we're intimidated by a strong. Like, it's hard to, you know, say it because, like, if you got your degrees and you making $100K, I mean, I would hope we're investing that money into something that we could do. But 9 out of 10 times, y'all money is y'all money, and we still got to come up with whatever we need to be paying. So it's not like you're like, oh, I got $100K. You heard her say, I got $100K. I make $100K. But when it's come to them bills, is when we gonna pay. You get them, but she ain't putting it out. So, true. I mean, that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? Men are not really concerned about a female's budget. We care about the other things, like to make our day easier. You get what I'm saying? And not to say men need a woman to be cooking, cooking, cleaning every day or whatever the case may be. There's other things, you know what I mean? See how my mind is. You get what I'm saying? We don't get that from independent women because they feel like they're at a higher level where they don't care what you think at the same time.
Yeah, that's a I just to touch on that real quick. I don't think it's a factor of intimidation. I think it's a factor of usually when you think you're, you know, strong, independent, and whatever the case is, like Robert said, you come with these bad characteristics that make you very unpleasant to be in a relationship with, you know, and that's what we started to see with these women that go after certain levels of education, is that they start to develop, you know, these boss attitudes, and they try to treat you like, you know, they your boss, like, you know what I mean, like you an employee. Like, that's not what men want, you know what I mean? So when you develop those bad attitudes, men are just checking out. You just like, you know what, I'm not even trying to deal with that. I got enough going on in my life that I don't need, like Robert said, and Diamond said, I don't need to compete with you. I don't need to women say all the time, "Oh, I need a man that can put me in my place." Like, I ain't trying. You're not a caged animal. Like, you get what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to yoke you up and strangle you for you to feel like, oh, okay, well, he showed it. He showed himself that he's masculine, quote unquote. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't think guys are intimidated. I just think that we're just checking out and we just choose not to deal with it. You know what I mean? So
sorry.
Well, all these degrees, and I mean, it's so common. I think men are very like, I don't think we're like complicated at all. I think we're so simple. I just don't understand why it's so hard for the world to, grasp how simple it is to keep a man for these single women that want a relationship.
I was gonna say something else. I don't know what I was gonna say, but now I want to say something to that. The thing is that it is, when something is like literally like right in front of your face, and you're so used to, as women, overthinking. Like, women think a lot. Okay, women definitely think a lot. I don't feel like men think in the same way as women. I definitely think men think a lot, but more of like towards their goals, towards the stuff they have to do. Like, women are like, oh my God, what do I have to do now, tomorrow? What does he need to do? What do the kids need? What is this? Like, we're overthinking everything. That the man is just standing there in one place looking at you calm and simple. And you're like, what's wrong? And he's like, no, I'm chilling. And you're like, something has to be wrong. Like,
right.
Overcomplicating how simple the situation is. That's exactly what they do in relationships as well. Like, they just feel like they try to put their mind onto a man and make it seem like he's overcomplicated when he's like, nah, I really, when I said I was chilling, I meant I was just chilling. Like,
yeah,
that's what I really meant.
But women don't understand that, because if we say, oh, I'm fine, it doesn't really mean that she's fine. So whenever a man says, I'm just chilling, I'm fine, they automatically think like something has to be wrong. But he's like, I'm just chilling. Like,
I'm fine. I'm tired. I need a nap.
Right. That's it. There's no underlying meaning to what men say. But for women, it's different. If a lot of the time we say something, it means something totally different. So we implement that onto men as well.
No, that's so true. But also, it is simple, but it doesn't mean that it's easy.
Right.
It doesn't mean that it's easy, because to be on point 100%, like there's like a balance, right, of just like being on point as a woman. But there's like a level. Okay, this is the level that a lot of women don't necessarily get to because of all the work that it requires, because it is going to require you being on point all the time. It is going to require you to know what's going on with your own, being tuned with your own body. Okay, being aware of your own self and your own abilities. It's also going to require you to be okay. For a man who want a girl who's slim thick, it's going to require you waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning to actually work out. It's going to require you to not put on that what are they, that big old t-shirt and whatever, walking around the house like a thug. You can't know, because when you're around a certain man, every time he sees you, you want him to feel something. That requires a lot, because a lot of women want to still coddle themselves, be emotional. Oh, I'm lazy today. Like, no, it does require a level of work that it's to make it tick, to make it stay a certain way, to keep it spicy, to keep that man intrigued, because it doesn't matter how fine you are. If he sees a fine girl outside, he gonna be like, damn, she fine. But you have to just be in tune with yourself, so that when those situations occur, you're like, oh yeah, that's just in a man's nature, not I'm whack, I'm lame, and now I'm gonna fight with him because I feel inadequate, because now he's looking at somebody who I think looks better than me, and he wasn't even looking at her like that. He was just looking at her because her butt is from all the way over here. Everybody looked at it.
So you was looking at it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
everybody looked at it. The whole lady was looking at it.
Like, I looked at it like, damn.
Yeah, but it's because women are not so disciplined enough. So if you have an insecure woman and she sees her man looking at another woman, it's a fight.
Right.
Why are you looking at the cashier like, oh, she didn't have to tell, oh, why you said thank you like that? Big fight. Now y'all arguing. Now, because she's not vulnerable enough to say, dang, I don't look like that. And I feel some type of way that I don't look like that. And you deserve that. But I'm going to make you feel bad that you even looked at that person, because I know you deserve that, but I'm not willing to be disciplined enough to give you that. Bernice Burgo said it perfect. Okay, she's beautiful, by the way. She said it. She said that when she used to work at the club, beautiful women were never rude to her, but the girls I was kind of like iffy, average look, not too good, be so stank to her, and she was like, "I'm not here for no like you're with your man. I'm respectful of your relationship or whatever. I don't care about that, but you being nasty to me, we all see it. Your man sees it, I see it, and it just shows the state of your relationship. So it is easy, it's simple, but it no, it's not easy. It's simple, but it takes a lot of dedication.
Yeah.
That's what I
Before
want
we
to
get
say.
to super chat, I wanted to say, like, do you think it's hard for women? Because I do believe it's a double standard where it comes, men get comfortable, but I feel like a woman shouldn't feel comfortable to just be looking like a dude. You get what I'm saying? Like with the baggy sweats, the baggy shirt. Oh, take me as I am. I ain't gotta comb my hair no more. We with each other. It's 5 years. Like, like stain on a shirt. Like, as a man, I feel like it's not a big deal, but I feel like it is a big deal for a female forever.
What do you I want Diamond. What do you think about that? Because I know what I think.
Like whenever it comes, if we're talking about just the physical appearance and a woman kind of letting herself go whenever she gets with a man, I kind of feel like it's almost selfish because you expect this man to be only attracted to you. You're the only thing that he's allowed to look at.
Right.
Now, there's nothing wrong with making sure he has something nice to look at. There's nothing wrong with doing your hair. There's nothing wrong with, put on a cute outfit from time to time instead of just walking around in the baggy sweats, because realistically, you want him to only be looking at you.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with making sure he has something good to look at. You want him to look nice. You want him to go get a haircut every Saturday. You want him to, if he was in shape when you met him, you're going to feel some type of way if he gains 100 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be like, well, you didn't look like this whenever I met you. So I just think you should. And plus, just for yourself, like, you shouldn't let yourself go anyway. Just to keep your confidence and your self-esteem up, you should just be making sure that you're put together.
Right.
Yes, sis. Yes. Because a man will have the best experience with a woman in a relationship when she feels good about herself.
Right.
Sure.
No one's gonna experience you well. You're gonna be miserable. You're gonna make him miserable. The dog gonna be miserable. Everybody miserable.
Right.
Because of how you feel about yourself. So it's very, very true. And also, women are different. Women are different. And I hate women fight against this. They fight against the fact that men and women are different, but we are.
Right.
Like more times than not, when a woman is with a man, she's more with him because she's of love and stuff like that, but also it's a different kind of attraction. Like women, when they find they're in love with you, it's just different. You know what I mean? Like they will look at your face and be like, "Oh, he's so cute." You walk from here to the bathroom scratching. It's like, "Oh, my baby." Like, like you look at different things like, "Oh, look at the way he walks. Oh, you're so cute, baby." Like, they look at different things because like, "Oh, I just love him so much." So they're looking at you with love. Men are not like that.
Right.
Okay.
They're not.
They will love you so much, right? Like they love you, like you're their girl, you're their one or whatever. But if you come out the house, or not even come out the house, if you come out the room,
yeah, ma. I love
if you look in a certain way,
Right.
if you look a certain way, you can make that man so miserable by just how you look. Because he would just be like, "Why the hell do you look like that, yo?
Right.
Why you look like that? Like I love you and everything, but why you look like that?
There's no reason I gotta walk around and see other women that's looking attractive, and I look to my left and you looking like the homie, like, you know what I mean? Like I want to be just as attracted to you as when I met you. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And I get that. Let me get to this super chat real quick. We got Trevi said, shout out to the crew and the ladies. More of these conversations are needed in the community. That's a fact, man. We got to have these conversations. I'm so glad to have this conversation with y'all. But I do want to talk about a term that I'm pretty sure, y'all get hit with a lot. And the term is called pick me, right? I know
I can't stand that
y'all
term.
tend to, you're not biased. Y'all hold women accountable, which women hate. You know what I mean? So they end up making up this term, pick me. What do y'all think about that term, and how have?
Can you explain it first for the people that don't know, like myself?
Can I do this?
Yes.
I want to go first. Okay, I want to explain what a pick me is first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Now I just can't stop laughing just because like I've been hit with this term so much, and you just said you hate it. I hate it too. Like I hate the term so much because first of all, I just think it's dumb. Because what woman out there doesn't want a man to pick them? Like, so we're all every woman is a pick me. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. You all want a man to be attracted to you. You all want to be want a man to be in a relationship with you, unless you don't. But the actual term pick me, like what a real pick me is like how me and Diamond are hanging out. Say, for instance, we're hanging out with you guys, right? What a real pick me is, the real term and where it originated from, is that Diamond will say something and I'll be like, well, it doesn't really go like that because I want you guys to think I'm more intelligent than she is. Right. And I'm gonna, or, oh girl, why you look like that? And like louding up her business in front of men and like, oh, I don't like that shirt. Why you smell like that? Like trying to embarrass another woman in front of men. That's what the term came from. That's where it really originated from. But now it's become this thing of like, we're just looking for favorites or favoritism from men. And like, we're just trying to be the only liked, women and make ourselves look better than other women, like on the web or on TikTok, on YouTube, wherever. I think it's dumb because we don't have to tell you anything. Like what we be telling you guys is the key. Like, and we have men backing us up saying, yeah, she's telling you the truth. She's telling you what's going to give you a successful relationship.
And they hate that.
We could be just in relationships, like just living our life, living our best life with our men. Like we could just be like, yeah, I could keep all these tools to in knowledge to myself. But I think that to me, this is the greatest form of loving women, is telling you how you can navigate through life and through relationships when you might feel like you're doing something wrong, or maybe you just had an argument with your man and he pointed something out. Now you see a video and you're like, oh, this is how I should be thinking instead. Like, I feel like we're the ones who actually love women. I feel like the women who are over here part of the sisterhood, like, leave him, girl. If he can't buy you a Birkin bag, I feel like they don't love you because they're not going to give you any results. They're going to keep you single.
Yeah, definitely going to keep you single.
Yeah, but I hate the term. Sorry, but go ahead, Diamond.
I think, well, first of all, what an actual pick me is, I think it's a woman who will agree with anything that a man does, right or wrong, in order to seek validation from him, regardless if he's right or wrong, because you just want him to like you so much. But the key part of that is, regardless if he's right or wrong, what makes me and her not a pick me is that even if the man is wrong in the situation, we're going to tell you. We're not going to agree with the man just because we want you to like us. No, if you're wrong in a situation, we will say, okay, in this situation, the man is wrong.
Yeah, you tripping. Right.
And I can't stand the term pick me. It's like the female version of simp. I think they throw those two things around so loosely,
like synonymous.
Yeah, they just throw them around without knowing the real meaning behind them, just to insult you, because what we're saying is actually true and it applies to them and they can't stand it.
Right.
So they're like, well,
how dare you?
Right. Like, I don't want to admit that what you said is true, so I'm just going to insult you and say, well, you're a pick me.
Right. Yeah, I think the first time I've seen that term, because I didn't know what the hell pygmesia and all this other term, and it was usually under the comment section of women that were holding other women accountable. Like, and that's the one thing I love about y'all platforms is, like I said, y'all hold both men and women accountable. It's not just one sided. And anytime any woman would, and it's obvious, it's clear as day that this woman is in the wrong, or her attitude or behavior is in the wrong, and another woman is saying, hey, you're not doing that correctly. Then it becomes a thing of this, oh, well, she's just saying that because, like I said, she wants the validation from the man, and that's not necessarily true. And, it's just like, it's a shaming tactic that, some women love to use against other, they use shaming tactics on men all the time. So it's not like it's going to be any different against other women, you know what I mean? So what do you think about that, Jill? Now that you really understand the definition.
I don't really see that, because I mean, as far as like, besides you ladies, in my real life situations, I don't feel like enough women hold other women accountable. Now you might have a sprinkler here and a sprinkler there where, you know, they might be on your ass. I ain't gonna hold you. They probably ain't your comments for doing y'all the fuck out.
Yeah.
But in reality, when you look at it, like you can have, like I have cousins who's in situations and, you know, they might have single friends. They always, you know, whether the woman is right or wrong, they're still telling the woman she's right for whatever she does. You know, mostly, or leave that man if he's not trying to accept for whether she do right or wrong. I don't really see men being right in a lot of the situations or having a pick-me situation. So it's kind of hard for me to even adapt or understand. I hear what you guys are saying, but I just can't connect.
I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean.
Yeah, like I said, it's a new term, but you know, it usually applies to women that end up, you know, holding other women accountable, and then it's just like a situation. So let me get into super chat real quick. From within, shout out to Eli, no book of, you know, I mean, yo, shout out.
Finally,
I need to go watch that movie. I ain't watched that movie, Book of Eli, man. Go watch that, man. It's a good movie, man. So like I said, we try to hold both people accountable because, like I said, these are conversations that we need to have in our community. So I want to ask y'all, what do y'all think is some issues that y'all see with modern men today?
Ooh. Well, one thing I wanted to say really quick, just to what Ju said, I agree with that, because even me, like in real life, when I talk about like my closest, one of probably the closest females I have to me is like my girl cousin, like me and her, like so tight. Right. But when it comes to her, when it comes to like my friends or whoever, like I'm always kind of like that voice of reason in the room full of, you know, F him, he don't matter, who he needs to do this. And then like after the conversation kind of like materializes, then it's like, oh yeah, like you're right, or I shouldn't say that, or I shouldn't say this. So what you said about seeing it in real life, you're accurate about that. There's not enough people who are, I don't even think that they don't think that way. I think they're just not bold enough to say to their friends because they're going to get dragged in the group chat. Like their homegirls are just going to drag them and be like, oh, you whack, or oh, you this, or they're just going to make them feel bad because they're so wrong. So they just need company. So I agree with what you said. Modern men. That's a good question. I would think, yeah.
I think there is, first of all, I think there's a really big lack of chivalry with modern men. And I see a lot of disrespect whenever it comes to modern men. There's a lot of disrespect towards women. Like you have men now who will just blatantly say, I just want to smash. If we go on a date and you don't pay for half of the date, I'm going to leave you there because you didn't pay for your portion. There's a lot of disrespect whenever it comes to women now. And it's not one-sided, because there are a lot of women now who their mindsets and their behavior are crazy, but I don't feel like it justifies or validates a man just being blatantly disrespectful to women. And that's what I see a lot now, and it's almost sad on both sides, not even just men. It's sad on both sides that we have come to this place where we're so disrespectful to each other and almost fighting each other instead of coming together.
But honestly, I felt like I got more women when I was more disrespectful. I say this all the time. Women only wanted me when I had zero respect for them. You get what I'm saying? I go up in their crib, smash, answering the phone, had another shorty on the phone. I did a lot of stupid shit and didn't give zero fucks to feelings. When I feel like I became a dude that, not to say I never had respect, because I grew up around a lot of women, but I chose to not have respect for the women that I was talking to, because they always wanted to chase me at that point. You get what I'm saying? They always wanted to claim me or say, oh, I got Jew, or oh, fuck out of here. They want to just argue with the other girl. which made my life easy. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
when I honestly, started to take relationship more serious, I felt a decrease in power in my relationships.
Mm.
And it was hard because to grasp, like, damn, I'm being more considerate to your feelings. I'm being more this and more that. Why is not to say I gotta have all the power, but now you wanna be the nigga I was. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, damn, I should have kept it the way I was and not have any respect for you. Because I ain't gonna hold you. Like, you catch me cheating, I'd be like, yeah, so what? You want to see the big? Like, I didn't care.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But once I, took considerate to all her feelings, it was just like, it just a decrease in
it's like the level of attractiveness, like, just went away.
Yeah, like, oh shit. Get this corny nigga out of here. I became a corny nigga with respect.
Like, do you know who I am? I could go back.
My stock done dropped in that sense.
That's funny. That's funny, but I know you're being really honest right now. That's what makes it even more funny, because it's true. Like, as women like to act like they don't want that man that has a lot of options, but they do, because that makes them feel like you're more experienced in every alley. So they feel like, oh yeah, like if I have to share my time with him, then that means that I have a prize in my possession. And when they're threatened by not being in an actual relationship, right? When they're not the bona fide girl, when they're just a kill, they're like, oh yeah, like, I have to be on my P's and Q's. I can't disrespect him. I can't really ask him nothing about what's in his phone, because then he's going to kick me out of being an option to this gold mine that we have. So then when the guy is like, all right, fine, you're the one I pick. You're going to be that person for me. Now you have my attention. That's when they start acting a fool. They start acting a clear fool, like they completely forgot what you're capable of doing.
Right.
Like, you do remember that I could call your sister, your cousin, and your homegirl and have them here tonight.
Don't get it twisted. Like,
and then once they're threatened again, then they try to get it together. And it's also just like a control mechanism. They're trying to dominate, because I try to tell these, stop with the my man, that's my man. You relax. Okay, relax. No man don't want to feel like he's locked up in bondage with somebody. Okay, just chill. Let him say my girl.
Right.
It'll come. Just relax. But I think the problem with a lot of modern men, and I guess we're talking about kind of like, is it the younger men or just men in general? Because there's a lot of different like aspects of men. But
just to make it simple, I guess we could just talk about men in general.
Okay, men in general. I think that my problem is a little different. I think they don't put themselves first. I think that's one of their biggest problems is once they start letting that relationship lead them, once they start letting that woman lead them, once they start looking, outside of themselves for the answers, not researching knowledge and stuff like that, that's when a lot of the problems actually come in. Because when you're like how you were, right? When you was with all these females, you're focused on whatever you got to do, and maybe you're going to them just for solace, for peace at the end of the night, something to take your headache away, something just to do, you had stuff to do in the morning. Like, you were busy doing whatever it is that you got to do elsewhere. I think when a lot of men are focused on themselves, that's when their standards develop. That's when they start saying, I'm not going to take less from you. I'm not going to allow you to disrespect me. I'm not going to allow you to do this and do that. And then they can kind of grow and have that structure and have that plan, so that woman is just a plus, and she's going to realize that. And then she's going to follow suit. So I think that's one of the problems, is not actually putting themselves first and doing research, or, don't just say you have a business and you're trying to figure it out, but then you spend all the time with your girl. Like, nah, like, focus on your business. Who cares if she's crying, talking about like, oh my God, baby, you don't spend time with me. I can't spend time with you because I'm on a mission. I got to focus on what it is that I'm doing for our future, not letting other people lead them. That's what I would say.
I like that you said that, because I have noticed that as well. And I was a component of that, in my previous relationships, is I was always catering to the woman and making sure the woman was happy. Like, you get what I'm saying? So therefore that took away from my development. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm always putting this woman first. I think a lot of men are like that. You know, I feel like the last couple of years I'm getting out of that and becoming now my purpose. You know what I mean? And know what my purpose looks like. I think a lot of men are lacking purpose nowadays, and you know, they are trying to prioritize. Some men are trying to prioritize getting as much women as possible because that's what we've been conditioned to do. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you said that, but I do want to get into the super chat real quick. We got Reckless Gaming. He says chivalry is patriarchy. It was killed by feminists. Do you want to be treated special or do you want to be treated equal? Diamond, what's your thoughts on that? I know you said chivalry was dead. Is he saying something right here?
Yeah, because I can say that feminism has played a big part in why it's dead, because you have women who are like, well, I want to be treated like this, but at the same time, I want to be your equal. So it's like, okay, do you want me to be chivalrous to you, or do you want to be my equal? So I can see that. I can see where feminism has played a big part in that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yo, before we get into this next topic, yo, we got what 300 people in here. I need y'all to get these likes up, man. Y'all know YouTube, they don't like these conversations that we having, like, but we need y'all to definitely support us and you know, get them likes up. And if y'all not subscribed already, make sure y'all subscribe, because you know, we need to build as large of a community as we can, man. I know y'all be rocking with us. So make sure y'all subscribe and hit that like button. So let me get into this next topic. It says, we kind of touched on it briefly, but why do you think there's such an attack on the average hardworking man? Because we have plenty of women on our show saying they can't date a man working a 9 to 5. You know, why do y'all think there's such an attack on the average hardworking man today?
I think that social media plays a big part of it.
Yeah.
Because you have women on social media who kind of promote this. What what do they say? I'm a material girl now.
Oh yeah, material girl.
Yeah. So so you have women who are promoting these men who, oh, he pays for everything. I get flued out whenever I want to. He buys me this, he buys me that. But they promote that as if that is the majority, and it's not. But you have women who see that and they're like, well, if it's not this, then I don't want it.
Right.
So because of that, if you have a man who works a regular 9 to 5 and he can't afford to buy you that Chanel bag, you don't pay him no mind, because you see these girls who have all of this glamour and materialistic things, and you want that, not realizing that's not an average everyday thing.
And it's so interesting, right? They don't want the average man because they want to get flued out. They want to be material girl, which in material girl, you know, that's from Saucy Santana, who is the male best friend of one of the city girls. So he's basically just a governed in city girl, but okay. But the problem is that they're saying all this kind of stuff, but at the same time, like, sis, I know y'all not gonna like me for this, but these girls that's getting flued out, like, do they look like you? No. Like, they look nothing like you. Like, these women are in rooms that you're not in. Why you want a man that make you know, $100,000 a year or even a, you know, millionaire, but you work at Burger King? What are you talking about? Like, what, you work at the hair store? You work at the hair store. What are you talking about? Like, you're trying to, and not that men care about money, but it's more about the place that they are, the complacency that they're at. They're not doing any self-development. All you're doing is copying people on. You're a big grown copycat. You're a big grown copycat woman. Okay. And it's so funny because one of my little cousins, he posted something on Instagram, and it was something like from Justin LeBoy's page, and it was like, if I see any of y'all girls with a heart braid in your hair, I know you a copycat ass B, you know. And I laugh because it's so true. Like, you can tell the girls who are just following every single step of the way, like, of what these girls do, and they look at them like God. But the what I don't understand is that, like, you're looking at these other people outside of yourself but you're not even that girl. So how can you want this man? Like, how do you even deem yourself worthy of a certain guy and you don't have any, you just eating Popeyes every day? Okay, no disrespect to Popeyes. You know what I'm saying? You don't even drink water. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Right.
what are you talking about? These girls have different options based off of whatever, whether it's their status, whether it's the fact that they have, you know, music out, so they have a larger outreach, that are more accessible to these people. Maybe you are prettier than them, whatever it is, but why are you downing the guy that is going to turn around and be a good husband? And then you talking about you want somebody that's monogamous, that's not going to cheat on you, that's not going to play you, that's going to be home every day. But you want this guy? That guy don't want to do that.
He's not gonna be that.
He don't want to do that. He want to do what he doing.
Right.
Why do you think that? Because I'm not saying that men have a problem with being average, but I feel like, you know, women have a harder time with dealing with being average. But why do you guys feel like that's like women issue nowadays?
Yeah, calling a woman average is almost like it's offensive. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and most people are average. I tell people that most people are average, men included. Like, you know what I mean? So being called
everybody in the motherfucking chat average.
Yeah, like, why is that such an offensive term nowadays, especially towards women?
Okay. This is the D word that they hate when we say, but it's because a lot of these women are delusional. Okay. If you ask them, they will look you dead in your eye, Eli, bold face, straight face, and be like, I'm a 10. And you're like, what are you talking about? Like, nobody would agree with you, you know? So you think you look better than Chanel Iman? Yep. Like, they're literally so like that. I don't know if it's something that's in the lash glue. No disrespect. Okay. I'm not trying to, but I don't know if it's the acrylic, like there's something in the acrylic that they inhale, but like when they get them nails on and the lashes done and the wig on, you cannot tell them they're not Keisha Kior. You cannot tell them that they're not Gucci Mane wife. You know, it makes them have like this certain persona about themselves that they really feel like they are the hottest thing. So even though they are average, they can't deal with like the fact that like men know, right? Men will just be like, okay, they see somebody, they kind of know. They don't have to, you know, outwardly express like, hey, I think I'm a 5. You know, men just know what they are and they work it. Right? They find the best clothes for what they can. They work their style.
Ugly niggas be like, yo, I'm ugly, so what? I'll be here all the time. Niggas be like,
I got a fresh cut.
You gotta have a different level of confidence.
Beard lined up. Right, he smelled the best. You know, they walk, the whole group of friends walk. You're like, who smelled that good? Oh, that's him. Dang, he smelled good. Like, they will work that thing because they know where they are. A woman will hang. There will be one pretty girl in the group, and a lot of pretty girls do this, and they think that people don't know. But I be on to y'all. Y'all be the one pretty girl, and you're not gonna tell your friends she look whack because you guys want to stand out.
Yep.
Right. You want to be the 10. Yep. And have them, you know, stay 3s and 4s. But because the girls aren't aware that they're 3s and 4s, they think that they're all the 10. Like, because they have one pretty friend, they're like, oh yeah, pretty girls hang with pretty girls. And it's like, no, she's using you as a ploy.
That's not true.
Yeah, because I do find a lot of the attractive women, they usually got the not so attractive female friends, and that elevates them. Because standing next to them, of course, you're gonna look like a 10 because they like 3s and 4s, like, you know, to most people.
They look like a 20.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. They gonna write something to y'all in y'all DMs today, man. They don't like y'all.
Yeah, I hope y'all don't get no type of hate DMs and nothing like that, man.
I get DMs every day.
But I do want to give y'all extra shout out and admire y'all for y'all natural beauties. You know what I'm saying? Y'all looking like yourselves. Y'all ain't have to go change your face next door, something like that.
Next door.
Not next door.
He said next door.
Next door. I always say too, like, one of the most important things, and this is kind of like an off topic, but like I feel like a lot of women's issues is that they're just not in tune with themselves, right? Like, they're not, whatever spirituality, you know, whatever religion or whatever. I feel like a lot of women are not in tune, and that's like our space. Like, that's like our sacred space. Why do you think churches are filled with women now? Like, women are more like emotional, but also like we have just this certain type of energy, like, you know, from our space, you know what I mean? That it calls us to be. So I always say too, like a lot of the reason why a lot of these women are kind of like dull or whatever is because they're not in tune with themselves. They're not empowered elsewhere or some other entity, how or whatever it is, either knowledge of self or spirituality, whatever. And I strongly believe that that's what shines. I strongly believe that, like, when you see somebody who's radiating a certain way, I definitely believe it's the inside. So a lot of these people, like you said, they get it twisted. You know, they go pack on the makeup, pack on the this and pack on the this, and it's like, but you're still not shining like this girl who has on lip gloss and Vaseline.
I don't know where they're getting this from, but they always say that this is what men want. Like I hear women, that's every woman's rebuttal. This is what y'all like. This is what y'all, and we don't like it.
They don't.
Yeah, but they're getting confused because what they say, what do the women always say when they say this is what men like? They going off of social media, what the men are liking on social media, that they go to a Bernie's Burgos and she got thousands of likes and most of them likes is men. Mm-hmm. So they thinking, oh well, this is what men like. I want to ask you about, plastic surgery and just, the BBL culture that we live in nowadays. We've had women on the show who has agreed that women go out and get the plastic surgery and the BBLs to compete for a high value, quote unquote, man. But then you also have women who will lie and say that they do it for themselves. Do y'all believe women are naturally getting BBLs and enhancing their looks for themselves, or you think it's more or less to attract a certain type of man?
I don't necessarily think it's 100% to attract a certain type of man. I think it's to compete with each other.
For a man.
True, but
because you don't need to compete with each other. Yeah, what is the goal? What is the end goal? What do you?
Well, there are a lot of women, and it's weird, but they will compete to be yes,
be the Beyonce.
It's not even that they want this man; they just want his attention. They want him to say, "Oh, she is the prettiest girl in the room." It's not even that she wants him; she just wants that validation.
The validation, okay,
right? No, that's so true. That's so true. They just want that man to look at them and be like, "Oh, she the baddest."
Yeah.
But then when he go to get her number, leave me alone.
Yes, I see that all the time.
Yeah,
that's why you gotta do the Jew approach. You gotta treat them with the disrespect, because then they're gonna be like, why he not on my heels? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he don't, you know what I mean? So that becomes a challenge for them. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that Jew effect, he'll disrespect her mad quick and make her feel like she's nothing, and then she's like, "I need you." Everyone said I'm beautiful. Why'd you say I'm ugly?
Yeah,
the formula.
I was homeless, and I had a lot of homes to choose from. I'll tell you that.
I bet.
Yo, let me get it. Yo, that's a quotable right there. Like, yo, looks is just a part of the spectrum. Submission is on top as well as the quality of the box itself.
True.
I mean, that's valid points. You know what I mean? We got Jared Braggs. He says social media just puts on display what women are taught. Women were doing this before social media. It's all about the image to one up the next girl. I mean, I do feel like I do think that social media does put a lot of things on display that we normally wouldn't have seen regularly. Like, you know what I mean? So it definitely highlights a lot of issues in our community. Luke Right-Hand says it's not even about the money. It's really only want the lifestyle. They really only want the lifestyle. Choose the same women won't date a construction man working making $500K. That is also true. I seen a story where it was a plumber. Like, women won't be attracted to a plumber even though he's making, let's say, $100K a year, but they'll be attracted to somebody else working a different job making $100K a year. And it's like, all right, just because he's a plumber, he does sanitation, he makes good money, but to you it probably looks a certain type of way. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's just a crazy, you know what I mean, a crazy situation. But some women are like that. Here's another topic that we always seem to talk about.
Another super chat first, so
my fault. Let me get to this. We got Jared again. He said, yes, women do compete with each other. they want to be better out the group and has less to do with doing it for men and they does it for women.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's true, but I do believe they do it for women, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's about, doing it for other women to get that validation from men. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, a woman could look bad if she go to a club. Women are not buying her drinks. Women are not they're not buying you a section. They're not doing
She
this.
said, "Yo, you slayed today, girl. Let me pay."
Like, women ain't doing all this.
Let me buy you a drink, girl.
Good. A woman not gonna pay your bills, quote unquote, or fly you out or do these nice things for you. These are things that men tend to naturally do. So I see that. Let me see. We got Super Chat says you could be perfect peach, but a guy still wants an apple. I mean,
That's true sometimes.
That's definitely true. So let me get into this next topic. So like I said, this is a topic that we often discuss on the social media, right? Why does the mere suggestion of 50-50 trigger women so much on these internet and just in real life in general? Like, why do you think that's such an issue to women?
I think it might be the way that it's portrayed, if I'm being honest. I think that if like I've been seeing so many, listen, these guys on social media, they like, I can see that they've definitely taken a stand because they will be on a date and literally order from themselves and be like, what you getting? Because I'm paying for mine. Like they will literally do that. I think it might be.
You think there's anything wrong with that? Like splitting the bill on a first date?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that because you don't know each other. You don't have no loyalty. You're seeing. This is for you guys to see if you even like each other. And a lot of men have been taken advantage of over and over again. A lot of guys have already caught on to the girls' tactic of the free meal. Like, I don't like him, but it's a free meal. Right. So guys are like, no, it's not.
Photo op, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the free meal is actually the 4th or 5th date, but you don't know that, So I think that I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I also don't think there's anything wrong with a woman if she's interested in a man or whatever, being like, I got it. Like, just showing that, like, I'm not here for that. I really want to know, like, what the connection is about. But I think sometimes it's just a portrayal of it. Or maybe how it's presented, because some guys, it's not in their nature to actually even be that way. Some guys are not like these strong, masculine, like, they're not like a Jew where they could tell you like, yo, you ugly. Yeah, I'm cheating on you. Like there's a lot of guys who are also like not like that.
Oh man, I feel like shit.
Because of their nature. No. But because of their nature and because of maybe like they were raised by their mom or whatever, they're not really like that. So then when they're trying to put on and be like, oh yeah, you got to split the bill, it can come off kind of like awkward and weird. Like, well, why does he have to say it like in that way? Or why is he acting so weird about it? Like, I have no problem paying, but you ain't got to like disrespect me and only order for yourself.
It's crazy because you can say it in any tone, no matter what you say to a woman, she's going to hear it in her own tone in her head.
Once they hear the words 50-50, nothing else matters after that. Like, you hear what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's just,
That's true too. That's true too. But I think based off of what like I said, the portrayal of it that I've seen, it's kind of been like that. It's the tone. It's like the way that it's come across, or like literally just ordering, like I said, for you and ordering your drink and being like, okay, yeah. When the check comes, like the man is like overly aggressive to be like, can we split the check? Like it is like, can we talk about this? Like between us, so she doesn't have to know, so we could use one card. I'll tell you, like, like to make it a little bit more,
So put me in a situation where a man can politely ask a woman to go Dutch on a date.
I don't think it's about polite. I just think it's about like just having like etiquette in front of like a waiter. Because some women have no problem splitting it. When I say some, I know it's a very small amount. Okay. I'm very aware that it's a small amount. But some of them, they just don't want the waiter to know like the situation between the two of you. They feel a little awkward or like embarrassed even. So they'll be like, hey, like if you tell them like, yo, I don't really know you like that. Like straight up, there's no other way to say it. I don't really know you like that. We're getting to know each other. Like I want to be splitting or whatever the case is, just the communication up front. You know what I'm saying? Before like the person comes, you're like,
you sound like she about to be in the group chat right now. Can you believe this nigga asking me to go on a date? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if she's not okay with it, at least she'll leave.
Then he gonna have to pay the bill himself. Like,
no, this is before you order. This is like while you're planning the date. Before you guys even get there. Like, let's talk about this.
Let's keep it real, because and that if you do that, you got to say it before y'all meet up. Because if you do that, that female's like, okay, I'm gonna let him know I'm not a broke female, but then I'm never gonna speak to this person again.
Well,
Even
then
though I feel like
that's
it
saving
would
you.
be a more genuine situation if y'all both go Dutch. And like you really put an effort. I feel like females should control that narrative. Like they should start saying, "Hey, you want to go Dutch on the first one, even if I invite you."
I agree.
Why would
But
women
they're not going to do that, but I agree.
Because
I
they
agree.
would feel more uncomfortable if a man even offered that solution or suggestion.
I'm gonna be real. Okay, so when I was like, younger and dating and stuff like that, I never and people, they look at me and assume that, like, I'm the one. Oh yeah, spoil me. I just always had that consideration for the other person, because especially like these younger girls that are doing that, right? Y'all like 18, 19 years old, and you want this man to, he live with his mom, so do you. Like, you guys just got out of high school.
Right.
Like, how can he take you to Ruth Chris and foot a $200 bill? Like, be considerate. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if y'all go to Wendy's, you're not expecting him to tell you that y'all going Dutch, because you're gonna look at him like, bruh. Like,
right.
I got a 4 for 4. Like, what's the deal?
Like, yeah.
Right. But if it's an actual situation of like a date or whatever, I think that I agree with you. I think it would be nice if women were kind enough to like even offer the gesture or express like, hey, like, I kind of, what do you think? Do you want me to pay for myself or whatever? But women know etiquette though. A lot of men be getting hit with the okie doke from some females that have nothing about them. That's what I say. They don't have nothing about themselves. Because I'm sure Diamond can agree, and I'm sure a lot of the women who are in the chat can agree. Like, women that go on dates, they usually bring enough money to cover the bill.
They do. Some women don't even bring their wallets on dates.
They come with them lip ball in their purse.
That's why I say these are girls that have nothing about themselves. And so having that conversation with a real girl is not going to affect her. It's not going to affect the date. She's going to bring her 50%. She's going to, see you next time, whatever. That's going to weed out the women who are actually looking for something serious and the girls who just want to be pampered and paid for all the time. That's what I think. Because women have the money because they don't want to be embarrassed. What the heck? What if you don't have it? What's she gonna do? Wash dishes? Like,
shit about you,
right?
As you wash the dishes,
or you washing the dishes, right? Yeah, that's true.
So Diamond, because I do want to get back to the 50-50, but Diamond, what do you think? What do you think a first date should consist of? You think it should be something simple like getting coffee or something, or?
I think it should, because
you think a man should go all out and go to these fancy Salt Bays restaurant and all this?
No, absolutely not. Because, well, first of all, the whole 50-50 thing, it does kind of look bad if you invite a woman out and you're like, oh, are you gonna pay for your portion? It does kind of.
There's no way to say that.
It looks bad. But at the same time, you don't want to spend, $200 on a dinner for somebody that you don't even know if you're going to like them. So in order to avoid that, I always tell men, you shouldn't even be going to the expensive dinner on the first date in the first place. The first date should be something simple. Go to Starbucks, go get ice cream, go do something that's not expensive. You pay for it. That way you're not coming out of a whole bunch of money, but at the same time, you're not telling her, oh, we're going to go Dutch. And then it also kind of eliminates the aspect of she's just looking for a free meal. Because if she sees you again after that date, you know that she genuinely likes you because you didn't spend a bag on her. Right. You guys just spent time together. So if she sees you again, you know that she likes you, and it kind of eliminates you wondering, okay, does she like me, or does she just like that we just went to this restaurant?
That's so true. But then when they ask her like, oh, where do you want to go to eat tonight? And she's like, Ruth Chris. Definitely not gonna say Starbucks.
That's why you shouldn't ask.
Yeah, I never ask.
You should not.
I agree.
Ask. You should just be like, hey, do you want to meet at Starbucks for coffee so we can sit down and talk and get to know each other? She says no, then you dodged a bullet. Right. She says yes, sit down, talk, get to know each other. Because honestly, that should be the only thing that the first date is about anyway. You guys shouldn't be spending a whole bunch of money. It shouldn't be about anything else except for getting to know this person to see if you even like them.
You know, something that I think is really interesting too is that when I think about it, a lot of dates, first dates that the guy goes all out and he pays a lot. I'm not trying to say this for all men. I'm not saying this for all men at all, but I think that in majority of those times, it's more of like an overcompensation for something. That's how
Because
I feel.
they expecting pussy.
Yeah, they're expecting. Yeah, well, I think
That's what you wanted,
even
that
when they go to
pussy right
Starbucks,
there.
I think even when they go to Starbucks, they're kind of hoping, you know, still, they're
Right.
still kind of hoping.
I
They
get
are.
the ticket for a discount. I get it for a
Yeah.
discount. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think it's like an over, like, why are you trying to woo her so much? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
why do you need to spend so much money at this point? Like, yes, you're going to be expecting something regardless, but also, like, I'm just saying over compensation in some aspects, okay? Whether it's
In my
intimately
experience,
or whatever.
in
You
my
know?
experience with the men who do too much on the first date, for me, it's been because themselves as a person, like their personality is just
Mhm.
shitty. So they
True.
use the expensive date as kind of a distraction
Yeah.
to kind of be like, okay, look what I can do, look what I can afford.
Mhm.
And it honestly does distract you from the fact that, okay, you don't even know how to hold a conversation. So that
Mhm.
when you do sit down and just spend time with him without all the glitz and glam, you realize you really suck as a person.
Yeah.
I think that's a valid point. You guys both make valid points. I think sometimes it might be just a level of competition where guys want to, make sure they stand out because men do understand that some women have a variety of options. You get what I'm saying? So some guys might
That's
look
true.
at it like, man, I really need to impress this woman because I know that maybe somebody else, like the guy that takes out on Starbucks, the guy that takes out on Roof Chris, he might have a little bit higher of a chances because she might view that as he's more invested. Like, I'm not saying
Let's
it's
be
right. I'm
real
just saying
though.
Yeah, but that's the
what guys
10th
are
nigga
thinking.
that took her to Roof Chris this week. Nah.
Yeah.
Good.
No, but let's be real. If a girl is really into you like that, if she's really feeling you,
She doesn't
you,
care.
you could hit her up and say, "Come to the crib," and she'll be like, "All right, bet."
Mm.
Netflix, what you want to eat? Like
Yeah.
that's what
Mhm.
thing is.
Uber Eats. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you want to order?
Y'all said that. Y'all said, "Oh, ask a woman where she want to go on the first date." That's the only time a woman know what she want to eat something because every time you ask a female what y'all want to eat, y'all know shit. Y'all like,
I never know.
what you about to get? You like what?
Or they say it don't matter, and then when you give them a suggestion, I don't want to eat that.
I don't want
It
that.
don't matter, but it do matter.
It do matter.
So what do y'all thought?
Hold on. I think ladies should by the fourth or fifth date, if you take the initiative and you set everything up where you pick the location, you take the man out, you offer him on date, you will really win that man over because that's one, that's something that he's not expecting. Two, that means he would then respect that you really like him.
Yeah.
I mean, women should take that approach.
Jew a lie. Jew is such a lie because he had
No.
he had so many houses to go through, and they were all trying, and none of them won.
They were, and that's why I'm telling y'all that advice works. I couldn't narrow the number down because there's so many of them doing that, but take that advice.
And it does show vested interest when a woman even offers they at least pay for the date because it shows that I'm just as invested into this as you are. Like, it's not just a free meal or a photo opportunity that I can post on my stories or whatever the case is. So with that being said, how do y'all feel about as far as, when it comes to relationships and the bills, and some men saying like, hey, let's go 50-50. What are y'all thoughts on that?
I think the narrative around that is incorrect because I think when people hear 50-50 on the bills, I think they think that we're going to split everything directly down the middle, no exceptions. And that's not necessarily what that means. It's just you both are contributing. Like, if one of you makes more money than the other, there's nothing wrong with you contributing more because you're capable of doing that because you make more money. But it just means that you both are contributing to this household. It doesn't mean that if our rent is $2,000, you're gonna pay $1,000. I'm gonna pay $1,000. If I know that I can afford to pay $1,200, I'm gonna do that.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with that, and I've always told people, especially in today's time, 2 incomes is way better than just one. You can have so much more if you guys just pull your resources together and do it together. But you have women who are like, no, he needs to do it all by himself because of what, you know, our parents did and our grandparents did. But we live in a different time now. Gas is $5-6.
Right.
Like we need 2 incomes right now. So
Right.
there's nothing wrong with pulling your resources together, and you don't have to necessarily be petty about it and be like, well, we're gonna split this right down the middle. You can do it like, okay, collectively we bring in this much money into this household. Let's tackle these bills. Let's invest. Let's have a savings. Like, let's do this together.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a lot of people who don't want to look at it like that.
We need to clone y'all too. We're gonna clone.
I agree with you though. I definitely agree with you. It should definitely be about like what's gonna make this household survive. That should be the most. What's gonna make us most comfortable. Like you said, if you make enough where you can pay, you know, maybe 60-70% and have a certain amount left over, and you know that him paying his 30%, he's gonna have a certain amount left over where he can go do the stuff that he needs to do, and you guys are both comfortable. It should be about the collective effort of the home. And that's why I find it very interesting, because a lot of these people be talking about this stuff and how they're so upset about it, but like you can't pay your bills by yourself. So you'd rather struggle and pay your bills by yourself until you can find a man that can pay all of your bills. It's so dumb to me. Like it's ignorant. But also a lot of these women be lying, because a lot of these women be paying all the bills. Okay,
in a relationship.
Yeah, a lot of what we as Jamaicans call mind man. A lot of these women be minding the man and footing the bill for everything because he provides something for her. And a lot of women who are like that, they don't have no problem paying for everything because he's right here in the home. I got my, you know, when I want him, he is right here.
It's true.
He don't have to go nowhere. He don't have to this. I have a man that, because they value the actual man living in the home with them more than anything else.
They can control that dude.
They can control him, but also exactly, they can control who he has access to. Also, you know, a lot of women, they talk about the money and they talk about this, but it's just, I think a lot of people just run their mouth and just talk, because if they were in a certain situation, even themselves would be surprised at what they would actually do. That's my opinion.
That's a fair point. You got anything to say, Joe?
I just, you know, even in my relationship, it was so hard for my girl to, you know, speak about finances, like where I was like open, like, yo, look, this is how much I got. And you know what I mean? And I think that's like the biggest issue we may have, where people, because I think people hear 50-50 and they just think it's literally like how Diamond said, it's 50. It's not really split down $100 and you got to pay 50. You know what I'm saying? So it's like your 50 may be you handle the car insurance and I'm handling the mortgage. That's what but only way a man will feel comfortable doing that for a woman off of just the rep is if I know what your finances is looking like. I'm not willing to do that for a woman if she's not willing to show me how she's managing her money and where's her money is going. So if you just fashion over Amazoning it up and I'm spending all my money on our home, and you got the wrong nigga, because I was already before I got here. So you done fucked up. You get what I'm saying? So it took us a while. We wasted so much time on, you know, her not wanting to show what she got, or to, you know, because she already assumed that I made more than her. You get what I'm saying? So she was like, oh, well, this is nothing. You get what I'm saying? But it mattered to me because I want to know how we can use these finances to make everything easier, not only for us, but for me if I'm spending most of my money. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think a lot of women are scared to do that.
I think that's a leader of a household. I think that's a leader of a household. Like, you know, it depends. Like, there's some relationships where the woman is the one that's better with the finances, but it's just about the fact that you guys can come together enough to have that conversation freely. Not somebody hiding a stash somewhere and you don't know about it. Like, where we can openly say, okay, this is what it is, and trusting each other enough to know that like this person's not going to go spend it frivolously, or you know, pay all the bills and then say we don't have any more money, but then you just came, like you said, with all these Amazon packages, you know. So I think it's just being open enough to even have that kind of like communication. And I think that stuff is actually what makes the relationship more serious too. Like it takes it to a different level.
It does.
Yeah, I think men also want to know that we're getting a equivalent exchange. Like I say this all the time. Like, so if you want me to pay or foot most of the bills, right? Am I going to get a woman who's going to bring me peace, who's going to be submissive, who's going to be feminine, who's going to be able to contribute to the household, contribute to our kids? Men are looking at it and be like, yo, a lot of these women are not providing that. So what is the purpose of me, engaging in a relationship that's going to cost me more money at the end of the day? I'm going to exhaust all my resources. I'm not going to get the quality of woman that I'm ultimately looking for because she has this independent mind state. She don't, whatever the case is. So,
Right.
modern relationships have adapted. Like everybody else has adapted to everything else. Obviously, with the pride community, people have adapted to that community. There's other things that we have adapted to in society, but in America, we haven't adapted to the modern day relationships. Obviously, women back in the day weren't allowed to work, so they didn't have an income. So of course the man had to, foot all the bills and
Right.
rent. Everything was cheaper back then. Like, you get what I'm saying? A man could work at a factory and pay everything and still have money to save for a rainy day. Nowadays, because of inflation, it's hard. It's very hard for a man who's not making a certain amount of money to be able to support a lifestyle of 2+ kids all on his own. If he's doing that, how is he going to have any money to save for a rainy day? Like, you get what I'm saying? So,
let alone the government pays women to stay single.
Yeah, that's you talking about a whole nother conversation. I'm trying to stay on one topic. So again, men want to know, like, okay, you do have your degrees, you are educated, you're making your money, that's cool. But how are you going to, like Ju said, how are you going to contribute to our household, to family, to the generational wealth that we're trying to build? Like, your money cannot be your money in a relationship. And that's what men are trying to make a stance on. And it's not, like I said, it's not completely 50-50. Like Ju said and Diamond said, you got to go half and half. But men want to feel comfortable knowing that as a woman, you're working and contributing your finances somehow to the family overall. Like, you get what I'm saying? And I think that's where the topic. I asked this question too. This is another divisive question. I asked a woman, what do you bring to the table? And she asked me if I was poor. You know what I mean? So I'm like, like, what does that have to do? Shout out to Keith, man. He made me really. He reminded me of that. But let me get into these super chats real quick. We got a super sticker from Jenkins. I don't know how to pronounce his first name. Shout out to the super chat. We got Nola Picasso. He said, there are women outside the US and UK, guys. I know Matrix women hate hearing this, but I guarantee men overseas were desirable financially and status-wise. They wouldn't worry about who we date. I mean, that is true. I do want to ask this question, and I want to just keep it general. But, with men and women having these discrepancies with each other, how do y'all feel about, women and men, or specifically, I want to say men more, going outside of the US to look for quality, quote unquote, quality women? How do y'all feel when y'all hear men say things of that nature?
Well, I'm going to say going outside of the US, but I'm going to also say like going outside of your race, right?
Okay.
That I used to get pissed when I would hear conversations of men, of like black men saying like, oh, that's why, I don't date black girls because they this or they because of that. And, I used to get so like upset about it. Like, just from a self-love standpoint, right? Just from a knowledge of self standpoint. But then like when you actually listen to the conversation and not listen to defend, but actually listen to understand, it's just that we are honestly just built differently. Like how our culture of black women, how they treat their men is very different than how a lot of other societies do it. Now I'm different, right? Like I'm like, my father is Black American, but my mother is Jamaican. So I have both, sides that I can look and see like the differences, like a lot of Caribbean women, a lot of like Latin women, just other women in general, they have a more, they know their place. They understand that they don't need to compete with a man. And this is not as a whole, because right now, if you look at society all over the place, all the women, huh?
I said you wouldn't say that's like new, like even like let's say an average black woman would probably say her grandmother
I do real quick. I do want to make this very general. I don't want to talk about one specific, ethnicity or race. So if we can make this conversation just a general, just men and women. Yeah, we could do that.
Right. What I'm saying is, I feel like a lot of people elsewhere that are not in the US, right? They're more stuck to traditional mindsets. I'll put it like that, whether it's in Asia, wherever the case is. So because they have more of a traditional society and traditional structures, the women are just tend to kind of like take a back seat and allow that man to be in his rightful position as the leader. Here in, America, the home, the free, it doesn't matter what race you are or whatever, but it's different because women are so liberal and so free and so financially stable and so financially capable. It goes back to the same argument where now I don't really need you because I only need you for resources. I only needed you for this. I only need you for that. Whereas women elsewhere are saying it really had nothing to do with the resources. It's about the fact that we have a man in the home to protect us if need be. It's about the structure that he's going to provide. It's about the leadership that he provides to me and my children. So I think that that's kind of where that discrepancy lies between men and women. But, I don't think that there's anything wrong with people being in relationships with people that respect them, regardless of where they get that from. That's just my opinion.
Yo, why this nigga came on here looking like Soulja Boy? Like, Greg.
Yo, what's good? People, what's good?
What's good, man? I'm glad that you finally joined, man. Like,
yo, man, it's been a long day, man.
So Diamond, real quick, I just want to ask you this real quick. How do you feel in general when you hear men speak about, going outside of their race or outside of the country to find quote unquote quality women?
I think, well, first of all, I think the reason why they do that is because when you're dealing with women in the US, they have kind of the whole city girl mentality now. Outside of the US, they don't really have that. Like Riva said, they have a more traditional outlook on relationships, which is what men who want to settle down, that's what they want. They don't want to marry a city girl. They just don't want that.
Right.
So I think that's why they kind of seek that. But as far as outside of your race, one thing I have noticed, and I try not to narrow things down to race, but one thing I have noticed is that the only time where it's a problem to date outside of your race is if it's a black man. If it's a black woman, if you have a black woman who dates a white man, no one cares. You have a white man who dates a black woman, no one cares. You have an Asian woman who dates a white man, no one blinks an eye. But if you have a black man who dates a white woman, the sky's falling. The world is ending. And that's one thing that I don't really like. And like I said, I try my best not to make any of my content or anything that I talk about race, but there's no way to really deny that. Just kind of look at the history of it. As soon as you see a black man with a white woman, you have all of this hate towards it. And it's insane.
That's so true. And it's also ironic too, because they get the most hate and the most backlash for it. But y'all act like he ain't nothing. This guy who was working at the bank, you thought he wasn't good for nothing. Then the minute that he did, they done took one of our men, the one man that you rejected, that you said wasn't good enough, that you said wasn't this and wasn't that. So I think it honestly, the fact that there's so much hatred towards our black men doing that is really showing that black men are the prize. It's exuding that, because you wouldn't be mad, you wouldn't care if you felt like they weren't nothing. If you really believe that black men were beneath you and they were nothing and they didn't need to be respected, you wouldn't care if somebody else had them, but you do.
Yo, Rava, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I guess you definitely gonna get a couple of DMs today. Like, let me get to the super chat. Mr. Dan D. Slayer, he says, question for everybody. How do y'all feel about social media and the modern relationship landscape, and how should it be discussed between partners? Like liking certain pictures or people sliding into DMs. I mean, we kind of fake covered that in the beginning, but Yeah. But I mean, how do y'all feel about the whole landscape of social media and you know, men liking pictures in a relationship and things of that nature?
I think as far as liking pictures, for me, it's all about who it is. If you're liking your ex's pictures, I might feel a way about that.
Okay.
But if you go and you went and double tapped on Rihanna's picture, I'm not gonna care because 9 times out of 10, I double tapped on it too. So I feel like a lot of women are kind of too sensitive about it. Like if he saw this, you know, this Instagram model who is in a bikini and he just double tapped on it, it's really not a big deal. Yeah, it's a little annoying, but it's not something that's worth causing a huge fuss about because it's not like he can go slide into her DMs and get any sort of response from her. She's got 1,000 dudes in her DMs right now, so it's really no big deal.
Right. Okay, that's fair.
I think women need to stay off their man's phone. I think you need to stay off his phone. I think you need to mind your business and stay off of his phone. And if you scrolling and you see that he likes somebody in the bikini pic, you need to look at and analyze that picture because men also aimlessly like. Okay, men will aimlessly like. They'll just see yellow and be like, "Oh yeah, she looks good."
Double tap.
Don't even no. They couldn't tell you that they like the picture. They don't even know who's in the picture. They just saw maybe it's a little cleavage, a little booty, and they were just like, "Okay, like, scroll." But sometimes y'all need to take a little note. Okay, if you're noticing that your man is liking certain pictures that you come across, and maybe this girl got some abs or something, maybe it's possible that you need to be making sure that you're your best self. I think a lot of women waste a lot of time arguing over somebody that's imaginary. He liked this girl on Instagram's picture and he's not thinking about her. Now you're mad about it. Now you're bringing it up. Now this woman becomes higher than you because now he needs to go back to the profile and be like, well, dang, well, what does she really look like? Because maybe I missed something because I didn't even realize it was that serious. Oh, damn, she fine. Now I'm going to slide in her DM. So now you're getting what you didn't want based off of you bringing it up. Sometimes y'all need to just be quiet, go sit down somewhere, take note and work on being your man's piece, work on being the best version of yourself so that he will so that it will remain just alike.
Right.
A lot of these women be minding their man business. Relax.
I think that women do have to realize too that just because this woman is nice to look at, it doesn't mean that he wants this woman over you. There's no underlying meaning to it.
Goodness. Yes.
It does not mean that because he liked her picture, it means I want you to look like this. I want you to be exactly like this woman. No, she's just nice to look at.
Right.
Like I think that
women
my
are
man
beautiful.
is the best thing
Women
in the
are beautiful
world.
creatures. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's only natural that we, even women are, you know, find other women attractive. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
you're going to look like, just like, for example, like I think that my man is the greatest thing in the world. It doesn't mean that Michael B. Jordan is not attractive. I'm still gonna double tap on his pictures.
Right.
So it's not a big deal.
And niggas ain't gonna care if you do that. Like
they don't care. And women,
tell Michael
we
B. Jordan,
honestly
pull
should
up,
not
and
care.
it's like, all right, close your eyes a little bit. You looking at
I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to that, I know they're gonna fight me on this one, but when it comes to that, I am one-sided. When it comes to liking pictures and stuff like that on Instagram, I am one-sided. I know. She's like, really? I am. That's when I have it the complete opposite. I feel like as a woman, you shouldn't do that because you, as a woman, when you're in a relationship, you belong to someone. But as a man, like he doesn't want to feel like he's tied down because the more that he feels like he's tied down and you're like owning him up, like I said before, like, oh, that my man, the more he's gonna feel like I have to prove that I'm still that guy some way, somehow. So I think it's the opposite. I think as a woman, you keep that, like, even if you see or whatever, you kind of act like you don't see it. But when a guy, I feel like he should be able to exercise that right.
I do think it's a level of respect though. He has to, at least not be in your immediate circle. It can't be somebody that you directly know.
Right. I think
you don't want your girl
plays it. Yeah.
Feeling like, this other girl could say that your man is on heels. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Back to the social media, even the topic, I feel like, well, me, and there's men like me out there, if I don't personally know you and I hit you up in your DMs and I'm just like, oh, what up? I'm only trying to smash. So like a lot of women gotta stop giving a lot of these fuckboys like my old self a chance just because I'm looking fly or because I'm lying, I'm broke. So At the end of the day,
I
you
hate
giving me
him.
that shot, I link up with you. I'm only trying to take you to the crib. I'm only trying to get in your underwear. You get what I'm saying? I'm only trying to smash you, then try to smash your friends. So a lot of women just gotta observe what kind of guy they're talking to.
And this is why I say he the resident fuckboy on the show.
You don't know this person from a hole in the wall. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of women give a lot of these guys attention based off their follower numbers or based off how many likes they get. So, he might be this nigga. You get what I'm saying? It don't matter. Like he's not gonna value any different. So you gotta vet these guys more before you give them the draws. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well said, Drew. Well said. I just want to say real quick, Ace went from Soulja Boy to 50 Cent. Like, you got Percy / astronaut status.
I'm just here to enjoy the great conversation, man.
He said social media has made the American woman delusional. They want an IG lifestyle that asks what they want in a man. Everything superficial. I mean, there's some truth in that. I'm not gonna hold you, man. Like, so.
I do think people pay attention to social media too much, though.
Way too much.
Way too much.
Ladies, we go ahead. My fault, King.
Yeah, as a person that don't post much on social media, I've been dealing with people who put so much on social media like that's real life. Like, I don't give a fuck what people think about on social media. And then the girl I was dealing with, she was like, "Yo, why you don't post me? I don't give a fuck about me. I don't give a fuck what they think, bro. You know, you my shorty. You know, I love you. That's all that should matter. But why you don't want the world to know? Who gives a fuck about the world, bro?"
That's a good one. That's a good conversation too, because a lot of sometimes that's actually protection for you and for your relationship. Before you have all these people talking about they want to come to you as a woman in your DM,
right?
Oh, and I was with him.
It'd be a woman from 62 weeks ago that he don't even talk to no more, trying to come to you as a woman.
Yeah. He was with you in 6th grade.
We got a couple of more. I know it's getting late and we value your time, so we just want to get through a couple of these topics real quick. Where can men go to find quality women? Like, you guys are obviously very lovely women. Where do guys go to find women like yourselves? It seems like y'all don't be where y'all be at. Y'all
in the crib, so we know can't find y'all.
I'd be at Target.
Target.
I'd be at Target buying stuff I don't need. That's where I'd be at.
That's a good one. Target is actually a really good one. Target is where a lot of women who are have a certain mindset spend a lot of time at Target.
I was always told, though, in order for you to find a good woman, in order for you to find a wife, think about places. If you had a wife, think of places that you would want her to be at if she was your wife. Like, if you were to call if she's not home, if you were to call her and say, "Where are you? Where are some places that would be okay for her to be at?" She calls you up and says, "I'm at the club with my girls." You know that that's not where you're going to want her to be if you call her up. So don't go to the club thinking that you're going to find a wife, because she's not going to be there.
I mean, men used to think they could go to the church and find a wife, but clearly that can't happen all the time either. So I don't know. Like, I mean.
Oh, thank you. No, that's true. You're right though. Like grocery stores, Target. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard.
We're gonna be super low key.
Sometimes
she's not going to be the loudest woman in the world, in the room.
Because she's so low key, she's literally nowhere. She's always at her house or the grocery store or the gym. The gym I think is a good place. Although sometimes you have some thought bots in the gym.
The gym is tough because if a guy try to approach you, he gonna look like a creep or whatever the case is.
The gym is the worst place to try to approach a woman. That's not the place to approach her at all.
So y'all don't believe that y'all can find love in the club?
Some of these women be purposely wearing certain stuff and throwing it back in the gym, like please look at me. They're like, please look at me, please.
I've seen that.
I think sometimes, but you're right. Like, especially now, like everybody be on TikTok. Oh my God, these guys were trying to shame me. They're looking at me. It's like, but your ass is out. Of course he's looking at you.
Got the super tight leggings on with the wedgie super crazy, like, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
and then they're like arching, like overly like, girl, just do the squat.
So y'all don't believe that you could find love in the club?
I think it's okay. I think it's possible
for Caribbean people.
It depends on what you're. It depends on what you're looking for.
Winding up all slow in the club.
Yeah, it depends on what you're looking for. If you want your woman to be at home with you on a Saturday night, but you go try to find a woman who clubs every Saturday night, those two things don't really go together. So if you're okay with her going out partying with her girls all the time, then okay. But if you know that that's something that you're not going to be okay with, I would not go there trying to find it.
Okay.
I just want to say Keem went from Soulja Boy to 50 Cent to Ursha now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I can't.
So all right, so
I'm about to take the vest off.
we got Enu with the $5 super chat. He says, I'm poly and women are always.
Oh, that's Enu. That's my homeboy right there.
Oh, where your shout out there?
Shout out to Enu.
Poly and women always come at my head for that. Why is that? Hey, Diamond, nice to see you. Yeah. Poly, what? I think women probably come at men because women have this certain perception of people that's in polygamous relationships. You know what I mean? So they probably think you using both women, or you manipulating both women, or whatever the case is, or that you got them in some type of slave dungeon or some shit like that. So maybe that's why, because women have this stereotype of men even women that's in polygamous relationships. What's your thoughts on that?
But like poly, how? Like poly, like everybody knows, or like you're just poly and you have like 5 different relationships. That makes a difference. Some people be like,
I think for poly to work, poly, everyone needs to know exactly what's going on.
Right.
I think most women want to be in monogamous relationships. My fault. And poly scares women because they have to share a man, and most women do not want to share a man. Even though it's more women than men on the earth, most women like, I need my own man. I'm selfish. That's the mindset you always hear when you talk to women. I'm selfish. I need my own man. I need that.
I'm not sharing no man. Yeah.
Because it's gonna turn into kind of a competition with you and the other woman, or the other women, depending on how many you're dealing with. She's going to fight to be that main woman that you focus on.
But I think it would be even better for women because, one, y'all don't like, well, not all, but some don't like being affectionate to a man or having sex with a man as much, or cooking, or everything else. So if you had a homegirl that could help you out on some nights, you don't think y'all should take that option?
But what we've learned is most women don't like competing.
Yeah, they're not going to want to compete, and it's also a control thing too, because they're like, okay, even as far as being, the sex with your man, it's like, okay, I'm not going to have sex with you, but you can't have sex with anyone else either. So they're not going to be okay with poly because they're like, you should only be sleeping with me and only me. And if I don't feel like it, then that means that you don't feel like it.
But they be lying, because look at Carisha. Okay. Literally bold-faced sharing a man. Bold-faced sharing a man that's saying we're friends over and over again. Like, and she's the head of the City Girls. So if she can share a man, who are you? Like, I think they be lying. And sometimes poly, it's a different type of evolution for a person that has to be willing to go through that level of evolution for themselves. Like, because it's going to cause that strong level of selflessness. It's going to cause you to honestly experience your man, but not be in ownership of your man. But I think that, again, people who are all parties and who agree with it, sometimes that little competition between the women keeps it better. They keep themselves up, because they want to be the finest one. They want to be the fittest one. They want to be the best one. So sometimes it makes them be the best versions of themselves. But I agree with what everybody was saying. All the people have to know, because once they know and they're okay with it, then, you know what I mean? They're obviously down and ready for the lifestyle.
But River, you don't think that it's a financial standpoint where, I guess, some woman wouldn't complain about being poly if he got that money to, keep them happy?
Yes.
I think that already happens.
Yeah.
You have women who will deal with a man who she knows he has, 3 or 4 others, but because he's dropping the bag, she doesn't care. It's a kind of it's a no questions thing. Don't ask, don't tell. Like, you're taking care of me. I don't care what you're doing on the side.
Right. Yep.
I'm gonna let you know right now, if somehow Carisha and Diddy become an item, that's gonna be that's actually gonna be a good look for the City Girls, because then if she the City Girl captain and she's able to be how she is and still secure a high value man like Diddy, that's gonna give a lot of women motivation to be like, oh well, I could be ratchet and I could twerk and do all this ratchet and still possible, and I can still get me a Diddy. That's gonna motivate a lot of women to continue their bad behavior.
But no shade, that's what
girls really looking for relationships.
But no shade, that's what they thought was gonna happen with Sweetie and Quavo. That's what they thought. They thought that, like, oh yeah, you see, we could do whatever we want, and there was girls running rampant on the internet. I want a man like Quavo who could let me be me and who could let me do this, but y'all don't really know what the real relationship is like. And when it comes to being with somebody like Diddy, what you mean being with him? Like, what do you mean by being with him? Getting a baby? I mean, he's done that. Like, he gives them out. You know,
that's a W for a lot of women nowadays. To get pregnant by high value man, they don't care about.
They looking for Nick Cannon.
Yeah, they looking for high value man. They looking to be baby mamas. We live in that culture nowadays.
Oh my god!
All right, so let me get to this last topic, man, before I let y'all go, because like I said, we don't want to hold y'all up all night. We appreciate y'all for pulling up. Yo, make sure, if y'all still here, man, make sure y'all get them likes up, man. We still got 3 of y'all here. We appreciate y'all, but help us with the likes. We got From Within. Shout out to Big Bro. He said, have no fear. Ace is here. We see you with the superhero headband. LOL. Shout out to Eli, aka No Book Of, and salute Jew. Yo, shout out to Big Bro, man. Like, he always support, man. So, the last question I want to ask y'all before we get up out of here: can modern relationships be saved? What do y'all think about that? Think it's over? It's done. Modern relationships are done. It's ruined. Yeah, I think it can be saved.
I think that they can be saved, but it's going to take everybody, both sides, men and women, focusing on being the best version of themselves. I feel like a huge problem with modern relationships now is whenever it comes to the issues with them, it seems like each side is pointing the finger at each other. You have men saying, well, women are the cause for why relationships are trash. And you have women saying, well, no, it's men because this. Clearly, both sides are dropping the ball somewhere, because these problems that each side is experiencing, it's not coming from nowhere. So I think that if everybody collectively just focused on, instead of blaming the other person on why things are going wrong, focus on being the best version of yourself, and then everything would naturally fall into place. But people have to be willing to do that, and a lot of people are stubborn and just stuck in their ways, so it's easier said than done.
Okay,
I agree with that too. I think and there's like those people who are extreme red pill, right? Like the red pill rage, where they just hate women, and it's like, okay, but you can't hate them if you still want to be with them. Like, that doesn't really make sense, you know? And the women, well, I don't need no man. I don't need. Well, you kind of need them, like, you know. So I think it definitely can be saved, but I think that, and I know again they're gonna be swinging at me again. In my opinion, I think it's going to take the women to bend first, because a woman bending is going to show a lot in a relationship, just like relationships, right? Like when a woman and a man are together, if a man is angry and a woman meets him with that same anger, there's not going to be any resolve. But a woman in your feminine space is to be the first one to be like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I was wrong. Are you ready to talk now? Like, so coming with that same kind of energy is going to show men that they can trust you, show them that they can open up to you, that they can give you their resources. Men have been beat down. Okay.
They have
been beat down, ran over, beat down, like over and over again. And if we want to be really, really clear, a lot of it has stemmed from even the mothers that raised them. So a lot of women have to come in and kind of like be willing to be caring enough, be vulnerable enough, and be feminine enough to be in that safe space and not feel whacked to be vulnerable, not feel whacked to be like, hey, this is how I feel. I'm sorry. A lot of times that you see women opening their mouth and yapping and arguing, it's really because they're so emotional and they've turned their emotion into rage. I don't want to look weak. I want to look strong. So let me combat you, instead of just genuinely crying and being like, I feel like crap right now. What you said to me was true, and I do need to change that, but I'm emotional and it hurt my feelings. That would be met with a lot of more women would be like, all right, baby, you know, you don't gotta cry. You don't gotta cry. You know, it would be so much easier to have that conversation instead of a woman trying to be outside of herself, outside of her nature. So I definitely think it can be saved, but I definitely think that women need to be the ones to take the first steps for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a good. I made some good points. I believe that modern relationships can be saved, but it's going to take work. And are people willing to put in the work? You know, both men and women remains to be seen. But again, we appreciate y'all for pulling up to the show. I definitely enjoyed the conversation we had. Let them know where they can follow you, because I know, for better or for worse, people gonna want to look y'all up. So.
Right now, for real.
Right, it's always both. Well, you guys can follow me on TikTok and Instagram. The handle for both of those is Diamond Fierce 1.
Yes, and mine is Riva TV, RIVAH TV here on YouTube. And then, of course, my Instagram is at RIVAH_JORDON.
Mm-hmm. Yo, you look, where you from, New York?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to live in Queens.
Oh, word? Oh, okay. Shout out to Queens, man. Like,
Yeah.
I did not know that. I'm just like, that's news to me. Like, you know what I mean? So, but we appreciate y'all.
Who made you ask that?
Somebody in the comments said, I think somebody in the comments said something about you being from New York. Matter of fact, I think you said us being from New York or something like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But when I come to NY, we gotta link up. Like,
yeah, for sure,
we gotta link up in person. It'd be so lit.
Yo, appreciate that.
Where Diamond
I'm from Oklahoma. I'm a little country girl.
Oh man, shout out to that.
That's Southern hospitality. That's why.
That's Southern hospitality.
Yeah.
The energy is different over here, man.
They do exist. I'm like,
I know. I have to link up with Diamond too. We're gonna have to talk.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll have some dope conversation, man. But again, we appreciate y'all for pulling up, and we're gonna link with y'all later.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank
Love
you guys.
Yo, man.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yo, bro, we got like what? How many episodes out on YouTube right now?
Actually, 1 million.
Yeah, like 50.
Yeah, but it's the first time we heard human, normal women like. I don't know what y'all had.
I ain't gonna say.
We probably had like 4 episodes with some human conversation going on.
Maybe like the third time.
Yeah, this might have been the third. People just don't pay attention to them because they reasonable conversations. You know how people get about that. Yo, we got another.
I'm just saying that ratio is just like them holding women accountable. You know what I'm saying?
Women definitely don't like that. Let me see Big Bro again. He says again, why poly only so big in the black relationships? Like,
that's not Big Bro.
That's not Big Bro? Oh shit, then I don't know that. My fault. Like, you know what I'm saying? You sure it's not Big Bro?
Big Bro's who that.
Oh, okay. All right, well, he our big bro for today. He the big bro for today. Yo, let me see. We got the black intellectual. I'm about to leap through the screen. River said, "Black men are the prize. Keep up the good work, yeah. Much love from Philly." Yo, I mean, unfortunately, that's a sad truth that black men are not used to hearing that from our women specifically. Like, you know what I mean? So, she said that probably bust a lot of people's heads. Like, yo, we got Michael in the building. Yo, appreciate the super sticker.
He said he got an IG now in the chat too.
Oh, yo, man, I keep telling him, yo, Mike, man, hit us up on IG, man. You gotta hit us up, man. I gotta talk to you. Jahad, bruh. Big up to the crew and shout out to the ladies. Great respect. Discourse. Great respect for discourse. Respect the work, everybody. Yo, appreciate that, my God, man. Yeah, yo, man, it's just it's so refreshing to have these honest conversations for both people to actually hold people accountable. Niggas are from I'm always big. Y'all see it. He always the big bro. I told y'all, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? What else we got? That's it. Oh, damn. Like the battle of the big bros. You know what I'm saying? Yo, man. But yeah, that was a dope episode, man. Yo, King, what you was doing, man, that you pulled up so late, man? Let the people want to know why you were so late, man.
Man, as y'all know, I'm Caribbean, right? So I went to this thing. I don't know if you got some Caribbean people in the chat. It's called Moksha. It's every year, and I go every year. You know what I mean, I actually got a story to tell you. I seen some joints out there. She stopped me. She said, "Yo, you aged to go, right?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "You for the?" I watch your podcast, Dailyrapupcrew. I say, "Yo, we out here, bro. Yo, shout out to whoever that was that stopped me." And
she also said you was ace the throat, but I ain't gonna hold. I'm gonna keep my.
Hey, yo, bro. What?
Yeah,
Wait, what?
That sounds a little crazy, but he did say her. He did say her, though. He did say her. Like,
bro, that's not what it do, bro. Stop it, bro. But anyway, man, that was dope to bump in the I mean,
yo, man, I was supposed to have a preview. We gonna get up out of here in a few, but I was supposed to have a preview for y'all, man. Like, but I slacked on that. But we got a new episode this week coming out. I'm gonna need everybody, man. YouTubers, they hating on us on this episode. They're trying to demonetize it, but I'm gonna need everybody to make sure y'all tune into this episode and make sure y'all like it. It's gonna get crazy. I ain't gonna hold you. And make sure we got this new episode out too. Make sure y'all go and like that and watch that video if y'all didn't already. He said, "Who that don't get carried away." Yo, this guy.
Yo, Drew, you wildin', bro. I ain't gonna
lie. See, niggas is wild, yo. Put a one in the chat if Drew's wildin' right now.
Yo, I said, she said. So I said, she said. Go back.
That's crazy.
I said, she said.
Bro, everybody in the chat saying, "Hey, yo, bro, you violent."
Actually, yo, I do want to play that preview, man. Let me. I'm gonna put that up, man. Let me send it to myself.
Play that. That shit was entertaining.
Yeah, I gotta send it to myself, but yeah, we're gonna stall it out for a second, man. So, what y'all thought? What did y'all thought about the overall like show and just everything?
Well, let me go first because I pulled up late, so I can't really. But from what I heard, I mean, they seem like decent young women, and I watched their channel, so I already know that they was going to come in with logical conversation, and I'm mad that I was mad for this one, but you know what I mean, I already had this already planned out. This just happened to fall on the wrong day, but we definitely need to have them back so I could partake in the conversation because you know what I mean, I know it's a dope conversation.
Yo, Drew, the verdict is in.
He said echo one. I ain't gonna hold you, man. I definitely, I was clapping, I was crying. You know what I'm saying? I was just supporting them 100%. I agree with a lot what they said, man.
I just want to say, my bro was here, and when they was talking, he just like, yo, like she was speaking, like, he even went and followed her on IG, bro. That's how bad it was, bro.
Yo, yeah, they were speaking the gospel. I ain't gonna hold you.
They're keeping it real. They knew who's here.
Definitely shout out to y'all to hold it down, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Fuck out of here. Don't try to give no fucking fake compliment.
You try to give us the props down. Fuck out of here. Word. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
the only reason I know that I could do something like this because I knew I was gonna hold it down, bro. That's it, bro.
But there's one thing I do want to say. I feel like when she said women have to bend a little, only reason why I agree with that is because women controls the power and the narrative of how a relationship will go. Women rely on government assistance. We're gonna leave that alone. I'm just say that women give men access to have sex, access to have children. So with all of those primary things, woman could divorce a man, take all his bread. A woman, you know what I'm saying? Women just got control of a lot. So if they're willing to bend and compromise a little bit to let a man know he's safe at that location, then a lot of relationships will be better.
I mean, that's a fair point, man. It all comes down to compromising. It seems like only one side is at least willing to compromise more than the other.
Yeah, but we don't got nothing. We don't got nothing, bro. Because if they say it's over, there's no. If we got an apartment together and they give the apartment, first of all, goes to the woman. We don't get government assistance to give us an apartment. We can't even get in the shelters. We gotta stay outside.
That is true, man. Yo, but that's true, man. There's more. You'll see. There's more homeless men on the street than there is women. But I gotta play out this preview, man. Just because I gotta get your hype, huh?
Go to it.
Is he toxic to me? No. He does what the fuck I want him to do. He's not toxic to me. Is he toxic to his wife and his kid? Absolutely, because he's not.
Why are you dealing with a nigga like that, son?
Why do I care what he do with his wife, Eli?
Shay!
It's not my business.
Shay! It's
the fuck is you talking about?
How is that not your business, bro?
Shay.
That's not my business.
Bro, that sounds like
Excuse
no,
me.
you're not taking
Shay.
accountability.
That's not my business.
So
If he wasn't cheating on his wife, why is that my business?
So what you-
Niggas
Listen.
done cheated on me, and bitches
So-
didn't feel like that was their business.
Man.
Why do I care if this man want to cheat on his wife?
man.
Bro,
Why, Eli?
So-
Why, Eli?
So what you be?
Hold on. Why, Eli?
that sounds
Why should I care if this man want to cheat on his wife?
Hey man, y'all gotta tune in. Man, y'all gotta tune that episode.
Why, Eli?
I'm gonna put the preview up in a few. I'm gonna put the link up for the premiere, but I'm gonna need y'all to tune in for that one because I want to get a little crazy, like, you know what I mean. So anyway, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, man, and shout out to all the support, man.
This is Friday. This coming up Friday coming up.
Yeah, this Friday, 7 a.m.
July 1st, right?
I need that's the first, because the second is Saturday, yeah. But I'm gonna need y'all to like that one. I'm gonna need y'all to share that one because it gotta go viral. It gotta go viral.
Yeah.
We need y'all help on this one.
Put in the text thread, all that. We need the likes on that one.
Come on, bro. Don't do that.
Eli Samuel was big and president on that one, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Don't drop that off. We gotta keep that before the show go off. If Eli's like Eli Samuels in it, let me get a 1 in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to be petty. Eli Samuels, the God son.
Every time y'all think Eli going on, put why Eli in the comments, man.
I'm about to make that a shirt. Yo, why Eli merch coming soon, man? Make sure y'all cop that. Like, yo, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Oh man. Come on, Trish alert. Damn. Yo, just make sure y'all tune in, man. That one gonna be crazy. I promise y'all, man. Appreciate it.